Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Devil's Latest Issue podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Vegas. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Fatman T.
Mysteries of the universe is amazing and wide. Let's now discuss the options you have for uplifting your spirit into the next dimension.
Because at the dawn of time and the sparkling of humanity. Anyway, we're also joined.
Long before time had a name, the first Spinjitzu master.
We're also joined, as you heard in the background there, by our resident dildo with a rabbit dick. It is, in fact, Echo.
Now, you can't say that, Vegas. Dildos get used.
Women actually want a dildo, you know. It's a key difference between Echo and a dildo. Women like dildos. You know, ain't a single woman gonna give you a hug if you give them Echo for their Christmas, you know, like.
You might not get a return order if you get Echo for Christmas.
Echo, I'm gonna give you to my mum for Christmas as a sex toy. How do you feel about it?
No.
How would you like to fuck a 56-year-old woman who's about triple your own BMI? How would you like that for Christmas?
I think my girlfriend would be upset with me.
Remember, children, a furry isn't just for Christmas, it's for life.
And make sure you get them neutered. You can't have them breeding again.
Exactly. We don't need more furries, you know. Make sure to get your furries neutered.
It's responsible thing to do as an owner.
Exactly. Furry farms are immoral and unethical, you know, so you gotta get your furries neutered. Hey, you want to be a wolf? I'm going to treat you like a wolf. Come here while I feed you some corn and steak and tame you to turn you into a Yorkshire Terrier via eugenics.
No, don't do that, Echo. Eugenics is fucked up enough, thank you.
Here, Wolfie. I'm going to make you have sex with a sheep so that I can have a labradoodle. I'm still convinced that's how we got poodles. I still think we made a Labrador fuck a sheep, and that's how we got poodles.
Poodle came for Labrador did.
Okay, smart arse. Just go ahead and just fucking bring science into my funny. Fuck you. Just baseball bat my funny to death. Why don't you?
More like history than science.
Fucking Negan over here with Lucille just fucking caving in my joke's skull like it's called Glenn.
Yes, I will.
Still so fucking mad about that. I'm still so fucking mad at the death of Glenn in The Walking Dead. They fake out his death like 4 episodes prior, then they actually kill him. Fucking motherfuckers! Why didn't you just kill him? Why didn't you just kill him the last time? Why did you have to do the fake out and then the actual? Fuck you! Fuck you! You fucking cunt!
To play with your feelings.
To be fair, right? That was the only good plot point The Walking Dead had for like 9 seasons anyway.
What, Glenn keeps almost dying?
Yeah.
You're not wrong, but also, like, don't fake it out. If it looks like he's gonna actually fucking die, and you're gonna play it for 2 episodes that he fucking died, make him die. Don't bring him back just to kill him again 3 episodes later. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking TV show making son of a bitch. Fuck you, you son of a bitch.
Okay, let's start with the news this week. And in first news, Equestria has died. The planet went someone supernova, completely wiping it out. So all the Bruins out there, fuck yous. Your horses are now dead. Enjoy.
No. You know, low-key, and hear me out here. I have an idea.
What's that?
Actually,
I want a Fallout game set in the My Little Pony universe.
I mean, there's like an entire series of fanfics that are set in the.
Oh,
no! I want the game. I want someone to make a mod for Fallout 4 that's in the island, like in the realm of Equestria, and we just have like Deathclaws, but it's secretly Pinkie Pie.
Oh, actually, hold on. I'm gonna pitch that idea in the My Little Pony server I'm in. See how well this goes over. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like nuclear war took out Equestria, and like you're like a human that's come to travel, like because like no one's heard from Equestria in a while. You know, it's like you're like a diplomatic envoy, and you have to like survive the horrors of the nuclear waste. And you have like fucking Pinkie Pie Deathclaws and fucking unicorn Death Gators and shit. And I think that'd be a vibe. I'd play the shit out of that.
Okay, let's start.
So would I.
Let's start our news. Let's see anyhow. Trump is going to attack Iran along with Israel.
Yes, I saw that early doors this morning. That fucking Donald Trump basically turned around and said to the Iranian leader, "Hey, stop bombing Israel. You're an easy target." And it's like, oh, you just openly threatened to assassinate a guy. Okay, cool. And it's a guy that you think has illegal nukes. Oh, that's fucking smart, isn't it? You fucking dipshit. Oh, goody.
He's quoted saying, "I may do it, I may not." Oh, this guy's a fucking comedian.
Like, it's getting fun again.
More Iran shit. Hang on. Here we go. Let's go for British news a bit. Labour called US all racists. No, sorry, Labour called all racists. Apparently.
What? Labour calls all racists.
Labour torn apart by MPs in the Commons after groveling grooming gangs U-turn.
Right, okay, so the Labour Party have been called all racists, is what you meant. Right, I'm with you. Okay.
It's about the new wave of the I think it was the Iranians grooming gangs again.
Yeah, I mean it's not a new wave. It's the new wave of allegations surrounding the investigation into the Iranian rape gangs. But yes, because they're not new gangs; they're well-established gangs that we dealt with a little while ago. But there was some controversy around the investigation. I only know this because I watched a documentary about it fairly recently.
Government welfare benefits again.
Excuse me, I died.
Okay.
Sorry, I coughed and drank at the same time. My diaphragm did not enjoy it.
What about asking how much Keir Starmer knows about Iran? US
Not much. I'll be honest, Keir Starmer doesn't know much about wiping his own arse, never mind other countries, so...
Trump's going to drop a 15-ton monster bomb to obliterate Iran's nuclear sites buried 200 feet underground.
That's a fucking terrible idea, but carry on, lads.
Yeah.
I mean, that would literally just wipe Iran off the face of the earth, but okay, go for it.
Well, yeah, he's saying it's a bunker buster, but at 15 tons, that's a Moab.
Yeah, it's like, let's drop a Moab on an underground bunker that contains enough nuclear firepower to wipe out an entire country. Great plan! That's not going to cause irreparable damage to anything, yeah. That's not going to, fuck up neighboring countries or anything. No! Yeah. That won't cause an entire fucking tsunami or anything. No! Fucking dickhead.
Apparently temperatures can reach 30 degrees C this weekend. Parts UK.
As it's supposed to hit 30 on Friday.
Yeah.
It's supposed to hit 30 on Friday here in Great Britain. I already have a noose fashioned downstairs in case that report comes through, because that right there, that's not a forecast. That's a fucking threat. Alright, that's not the news saying, hey, fair warning, it's going to hit 30. No, that is the news saying it's going to hit 30 degrees. Hide your women, hide your children, cover your Buick, because it's going to peel the paint. Prepare, the end is nigh.
Hang on, what the fuck? Have I missed something in the recent years? Because apparently MPs just voted to decriminalise abortions.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure abortions are already decriminalised.
Okay, so I've not fully looked into it, but from my understanding,
is this American or Brit? Is this American?
This is Britain.
Okay, because
to my understanding, because again I've not fully looked into it yet, but I've kind of been paying attention a smidge because I've had a better shit to do with my week. It's not abortion itself that's being decriminalised. It's they're basically changing when you can do the abortion.
Okay, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I believe it's been moved up to the end of the second trimester, I think, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. I've not looked into it. I've been half paying attention, if that makes sense.
That's when I thought the UK government would give in to bullshit. They just did.
I mean, I don't mind. I honestly couldn't care less when it comes to abortion law. It's, I'm not going to have one personally, so I don't care when people want to do it. I don't have a uterus. I don't give a shit.
You could have a uterus, though.
I don't want one.
New Scotty lore, Scotty's trans.
Like, well, there's an entire story there we just don't have time for right now.
Wait, hold on a minute. What? Hold on, what?
We don't have time. We'll cover that a different day. Look, Dad's been doing some thinking recently, Echo. Okay, that's all you need to know. But like, I don't have a uterus. I don't want a uterus, so I don't care when abortion is legal. It's I'm probably never gonna have kids anyway, so fuck it. Why bother?
Russia's attacking Kiev again.
Fun.
For what? For what? The umpteenth time?
Well, the problem with now
This
is Kiev used to get satellite warnings from the US so they can stop the attacks on civilian populations. Trump cancelled that, so Putin's taking advantage of attacking everything that's a building at the moment.
This will be what, the 12th? Like the 12th push siege into Kiev.
He's not pushing into Kiev. He's just airstrike. He's just drone striking it.
Oh, is he just drone? Right. Okay. I thought it was like a full strike attempt.
No, just
out of moat.
He seems to be pulling back his forces because Poland said if he marches any deeper into Kiev again, Poland said they're going to march on his ass.
I mean, I don't know why we keep being polite and warning them. We should just do it.
Yeah.
Like, stop saying, "Oh, we're gonna do it." Just fucking don't warn the cunt. Just get him, sick him. Fuck it, demons, get him, sick him. Fucking.
No, it's just fetch me that soul.
I mean, give Poland his dues, right? They're trying to commit any war crimes this time around. You know?
You say that. They're claiming they're not going to do any war crimes this time.
Well, no, they're not.
We all know they're going to invent some new ones.
Exactly. It's not a war crime the first time.
Yeah, it's never war. Yeah, it's not
It's
a war
also-
crime. It's not
It's
a war
also
crime.
not a
for
war
SS.
crime. It's not a war crime if you don't leave any witnesses.
Exactly.
It's not a war crime if they can't fucking prove it.
That's
It's not a war crime for SS.
That's the American philosophy. You know, they can't prove a war crime if there's no survivors.
Speaking of war crimes,
or you just gotta look for the loopholes.
speaking of war crimes, do you know what I did yesterday for a laugh?
War
Right?
crime?
Technically, it ends in a war crime, yes.
Okay.
Oh god.
So I sat down. I picked up the the subscription package to Crusader Kings 2 that gives you like all the DLC, right?
All right.
Because it's like $5 a month, right? So I was like, shits and giggles, right? So I booted up the game, and I was like, I've got like a custom map mod. So I was playing with that and like playing with like some like random world settings. And I found a button I didn't know existed before. Now I don't know if a new DLC added this or it's a DLC I already owned. It's one of the two.
Scotty found the war crime button. Run away.
No, I found even better than a war crime button. I found a funny button.
Bravely run away.
So I found there's basically when you do like random worlds, there's like a culture button, so you can set it to be like, oh, I want the cultures to be here, there, and everywhere with no sense, or they're like randomly put places, but like there's some logic to where they are, like the pagans will be together and shit, and that makes sense. There's 2 extra buttons in there I didn't know about. There's an animal uprising button that basically like sets some of the kingdoms to randomly be led by random animals, like red pandas and shit.
The furries are mobilizing.
Oh no, I'm not talking. I'm just like literally just an animal though. Like they're not even humanoid. It's just an animal.
Oh, so the fucking what the fuck are they called?
Like a Therian.
Yeah. The other Ken are uprising. Hans, get the flaming Werfer.
But I found another button. I found another button that's infinitely funnier.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It deletes all the humans from the world and replaces them with animal kingdoms.
Okay.
Oh.
So I pressed that button for a laugh.
Oh no.
I basically put myself into the world as the king of a small kingdom, smack dab in the middle of the Germanic dragon territories. Basically, dragons that are Vikings. So I smacked myself right in the middle of them, and I decided, you know what would be really funny?
Your cats.
What?
Even funnier, right? What's like the stupidest animal you could think of to beat up a dragon?
Sloth.
A porcupine.
Hedgehog.
I was close enough.
So I became a Germanic pagan hedgehog,
You named it Billiam, didn't you?
No, I did not
Really?
name him Billiam. No, I let the game take me on an adventure, and I just clicked random name for a little while.
Oh,
We ended up with Alzagon, the battle hedgehog, and well, let's just say, hedgehogs, according to this game's logic, live longer than dragons do. By the time I was done, my hedgehog was 110 years old. The oldest dragon I could find in the game's encyclopedia for the playthrough died at the age of 65 of fucking pneumonia.
So you have an immortal hedgehog.
I'm basically an immortal hedgehog, and I basically spent about 8 real-world hours just beating up dragons with what can only be described as a Viking horde of hedgehogs.
Fair enough.
Because there's a particular reason I picked Germanic Pagan as the religion, and that's because I know some fun exploits to make Germanic Pagans fucking ridiculously overpowered really quickly.
uh-oh.
So I basically walked around with Viking hedgehogs and just raped a bunch of dragons for ungodly amounts of money. And obviously, the more money I had, the more upgrades I could do to my buildings, which meant I could have even more Viking hedgehogs, which meant I could steal more money, which meant I could upgrade more buildings, which meant I could have more hedgehog Vikings, which meant I could steal more money, which meant I could have more fucking upgrades, and it just fucking kept going for so long. At one point, the dragons got so scared they founded a merchant republic. There was a Viking dragon merchant republic at one stage because I scared them so hard. And the AI formed this merchant republic 100 years early from when the game's supposed to let you form a merchant republic.
Huh.
I was looting them so hard they literally didn't have the resources to research military technology, so put all of it into fucking socioeconomics and developed a fucking trade republic. Because their plan was clear to use the trade republic to buy land far the fuck away so I couldn't bully them anymore. Unfortunately, all this did was made the lands nearby me worth more money because they were doing more trade. So I was just stealing more money from them. It got really fucking stupid. I did one raid on a dragon capital and I walked away with 3,000 gold, which in Crusader Kings 2 is enough money to just do whatever the fuck you want.
Huh.
Okay.
In a single raid.
Alright, enough about good things. Let's get on to our main topic for this evening.
Well, before we get into the main topic, I have one. This is interesting news. This is actually.
You're gonna walk for 20 minutes and no.
What?
Go on then. What is it?
Right. So do you know the game Euro Truck Simulator 2?
Right. No.
Yeah.
No. This is actually kind of cool.
No.
This is really cool.
It's not cool.
It is cool.
It's a crap game like Farming Simulator is.
Fuck you, I like the game, right? And it's getting a new DLC.
Oh boy, here we go.
This DLC, it got announced, if I double check, I think it got announced yesterday or earlier this week. One of the two. If I just track it down here. It was on June 14th, so that was 4 days ago. It got announced, the new DLC. They're adding coach driving to Euro Truck Simulator 2.
I don't care.
They're making a simulator where you can become a long-haul bus driver and do European bus tours.
I'm pretty sure the game you could learn in already called Coach Simulator.
Yes, but it's made by a different company and it's shit.
Okay, on that depressing news, let's move on to more depressing news.
Okay, it's not depressing news. It's cool. It's really cool news. It's a really neat little thing. It's it's basically it's a game within a game now. It's great. Euro Truck Simulator 2 is becoming World of Transport Tycoon, and it's really neat.
Okay. So, on to our main topic for this evening. Where to start with this one? Well, it's our annual checkup on the
maps.
Yeah, them. I'm trying to think of what a travel word to call them, but I couldn't think of one that won't get banned instantly.
I mean, there's PDF file. We're allowed to say pedophile, right? We're not fucking monetized anyway. We're allowed to say pedophile.
Yeah, but
Like, saying the word pedophile doesn't get you banned on YouTube. It just gets your video demonetized. And we're not fucking eligible for monetization anyway. So fuck it.
I doubt it would be honest.
Yeah. Let's just YOLO this shit.
Oh yeah,
I haven't been paying attention the past 5 minutes. I was reading a fanfic because
Of course you are.
No, you were waffling on about Euro Truck thing, the Euro Truck Simulator thing, which I didn't care about.
That took less than a fucking minute. That was a 30-second update. The previous 4.5 minutes was me raping dragons and Crusader Kings.
No, I did that. I did that.
Yeah, that's what he was the fanfic for. He went for a fanfic where a hedgehog raped a dragon.
Yeah, you know he probably did. Honestly, like that's.
No, this one.
Where's my pen? I'm writing that down. That's a good idea for a fanfic.
No, this fanfic is about a human adopting a kobold.
You are a kobold. Shut the fuck up.
No, it all starts because the kobold ends up in the guy's trunk.
Hang on, Dragon X Hedgehog. Fanfic.
I guarantee it's out there somewhere already.
Probably,
How do you spell Yowie?
No, it's gonna be gay too.
Yeah.
You mean
Yuri?
Yuri?
No, like Yowie. Fuck it. That's close enough.
like gay Japanese porn.
Yeah,
That's Yuri.
I think
You're Yuri. Yuri.
Yanui is lesbian.
Gay.
Oh.
Well, either or. Just gay question mark. Snuff. Question mark.
Yes, there'll be some full version. I'll guarantee you that.
Am I into this?
Probably.
Question mark. There we go.
Anyway,
Now I will remember to write that particular fanfic later.
Oh, you're right. Before you start, I just got a thought in my head there. Right, I've just worked out Echo is not a furry.
Okay.
What? He's not a furry because he technically have a fursuit. He's more of a Therian.
No, that's not how Therians work, actually.
Yeah, and that's not how furries work. You can be a furry without a fursuit.
No, I'm pretty sure you need a fursuit to be a furry.
You really don't. You just need a fursona.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm not gonna have somebody outside the fandom lecturing me on what is and isn't a furry. Like, you can fuck off.
Like, you're talking to a furry and an ex-furry.
And we're both telling you you're wrong.
Yeah. Also, the ex-furry happens to be, like, a working expert on Therians as well. Like, and otherkin.
I feel bad for you.
Like, I've deep dived those two particular communities quite extensively.
Why would you torment your psyche like?
Unironically, some of them have really helpful cosplay like information, so like they're kind of useful to me.
I think we did say one of Therians on the show anyway, didn't we?
We did, yeah. That's what led me down that rabbit hole of finding out. Yeah. Actually, some of them have got really good advice when it comes to doing cosplay work. So,
other kids, yes, Therians not so much.
Again, you'd be surprised. I've found some online that are pretty fucking useful little sources of info when it comes to like makeup work.
I'll try my topic for back to my topic for shows now. Stop procrastinating this because I'm depressed.
You're the one that fucking led us astray.
I know, because I'm trying to avoid it. I know I can't. So, a few months back, I first found this about a week ago, but apparently happened a few months back.
I think it was like a month ago, give or take, because
I think it was a month ago when you mentioned it to me.
Yeah, but it's the case of I think the whole story started about 8 months back.
That sounds about right, give or take.
Yeah,
could be. But I do know, like, the gist of it. Like, there was a camp for pedophiles being held, like, pretty much like in a school's backyard.
It was a summer camp.
Yeah.
Let me guess, Camp Crystal Lake, or was it more of a case of like Camp Yamakoa?
I wish it was Camp Crystal. I wish it was Camp Crystal Lake. Then we wouldn't have heard from it.
Yeah, one could only hope, but I don't think it is. The problem with
you guys realize Camp Crystal Lake's a real place, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
You're from the US. Crystal Lake's the thing.
Huh.
Like the film was like like Friday the 13th was filmed on location at actual Camp Crystal, like it's a real place.
I thought that was just a name they pulled out of their ass.
No, it's genuinely a real fucking summer camp, and they lean the fuck into it every year. It's great.
Like Elm Street, a real fucking street as well. We had a lot of murders happen.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, I guess not nice that real murders happen, but nice that it's a real place.
You like the murders? Don't lie.
There's that other one, the Christmas one that I always get confused with the fucking Freddy Krueger film.
Annabelle Horror?
No, is it Miracle on 99th Street or some shit like that?
Miracle on 31st Street.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I was 30-something Street. I almost said 37th Street.
Yeah, like that one. That one's like based on a true story and like quote unquote actually happened.
Yeah, bullshit. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's Catholic propaganda, but it includes in the fucking name Miracle.
Well, it's more Coca-Cola propaganda than Catholic.
Let's be fair. Coca-Cola at this point isn't a Catholic propaganda scheme. It's just a government psyop to make you addicted to sugar.
Well, I'm pretty much sure that Coca-Cola is now like using Catholic Church as a psyop for selling its products. And when like
that would make sense.
You know, next year you're gonna see the Pope sitting there with a fucking can of cola in his hand, drinking it live on camera.
No, the Pope just blesses every bottle of Coca-Cola.
Like it wasn't Coca-Cola, but I have seen a photograph of like that last Pope we had there, the one that died recently. I saw a photograph of him with a Sprite once.
You mean the one that Schlatt killed?
Yeah. Yeah, like the last good Pope.
Then we got a Pope from Roblox.
Yeah, now we got a Chicagoan as a Pope, and I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Like, all I'm saying is he's been weirdly, suspiciously quiet since he got into office. I think he's doing deals with the wrong side, if you know what I mean.
He's probably doing this for Pope causing the crusade, I'm sure of it.
There's an American Pope that can't be allowed to stand. The Byzantine Empire will rise again.
Yeah.
He's blessing the weapons of the crypts.
Bro, I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on the Clemente family to fucking sponsor the refounding of the Byzantine Empire.
You do know the Crips are New York based, and not Chicago.
You also know that, like, you know, they're a gang, not a mafia, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
don't me. There's a fucking difference, you gag.
Give me a second. The dogs are barking. Hold on.
No,
you are a second.
So I've got a news article from when the story first started.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm going to play when it gets back.
Echo. You know, Echo's my second favorite parasite. My first favorite is ringworm.
Is it?
Wait, no, I'm telling a lie. He's my third favorite parasite. It's ringworm.
Tapeworm.
Then tapeworm. then it's Echo.
Oh, fuck off.
Okay, you're right. I'm still kidding. He's my fourth favorite parasite. It's ringworm, then tapeworm, then that fish that swims up your dick hole if you pee in the Amazon River, then it's Echo.
Can we just start this already?
Okay, I'm going to play the news article now.
Police presence in a Vermont town over community alarm surrounding an alleged gathering of people sexually attracted to minors. There is no evidence this gathering is taking place or, in fact, that it was ever planned. But the allegation that circulated through social
Spoiler, it was planned.
Media has caused an uproar. Our Calvin Cutler was in Marshfield today. Calvin, what'd you find?
Yeah, good evening, Darren. I saw police patrols in a community on edge, not only because of the possible gathering of sexual deviants, but the backlash that it's caused as well. Now, earlier this week, social media posts circulated online describing a gathering of so-called minor-attracted people, another term for pedophiles. This caused outrage, anger, and questions at a special select board meeting earlier this week. And today, 2 state police cars were parked outside of Twinfield Union School, the law enforcement presence invited by school officials.
We appreciate our community and the concern they have for all of our students, as we also do, and it's actually really great in a not great situation to be able to work together and build those relationships, to know that we're all working to keep kids safe.
Now, the person who is alleged online to be hosting the gathering of minor-attracted persons denies that such event was even scheduled. At Governor Phil Scott's press conference earlier this week, state police also said they have no evidence of such a gathering or of any illegal activity.
We are prepared if there are allegations of laws being broken to investigate and respond, but we also want to be sure to protect First Amendment rights, regardless of how distasteful those opinions might be.
Fucking.
Now, several law
I said fucking. hearing the fucking reporter in the background typing his shit up and fucking just.
I thought it was for a second there.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was you there for a second, typing away back there.
No, legit, that was in the fucking newscast. That was actually in the news report. It was just someone in the background fucking typing some notes.
Enforcement organizations, including the Vermont State Police and the Vermont Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, are looking into the allegations. And in the meantime, Twinfield is hosting a forum in the coming days to give the community a place to talk this through. Darren?
Calvin Cutler, thank you. And police.
That was news broadcast that came out around 8 months ago.
Now, first off, can I just say, what a fucking based reporter, by the way.
I feel like this body. No PC,
Right,
no fucks.
Motherfucker right on just goes fucking, this gathering of maps, which is another word for a pedophile.
Yeah.
Not a fuck to be seen upon his field.
You're not gonna find a lot of reporters like that.
Hold on.
That was gorgeous.
And
Oh
then-
my god, give that man a car.
I don't you start off again though. Part of a group of sexual deviants. You know,
See, that was like, yeah, okay, I can understand like a reporter saying that, like, fair. That's just another word for a fucking pedophile. Hell yeah. See how it fucking is, John. Get him. Do it to him.
now. This one. This one. This is the news article that came out.
Oh my god, could you imagine if this is all just like a terrible misunderstanding?
Well, that's probably.
Imagine like they're not actually like maps, they're just really into cartography. Imagine how fucking funny that would end up being.
The problem is though, with this one, is we've got more evidence around this how this is actually going to happen. Right? Because Marshfield, Vermont, TND, activist group claims the pedophiles are facing extreme discrimination for oppression.
As they should.
Hang on, and a news report on a planned minor attracted persons maps gathering in Vermont last week. Map was replaced with the word paedophile coined by the Maryland non-profit Before You Act. Now, we did look into that beforehand, but we'll go over that later on again because that's a whole new brand of fuckery.
I don't think I've read that.
No,
I feel like it's going to make me very upset.
I think that was that the last episode we did on them or the episode before?
Because that was a fairly new organization that popped up recently. That's
the one was like the creepy fucking doctor from German House.
Yeah, he's part of that group. There's also the group that promoted the 3 stages of paedophile. You got pedophiles, which are like 10 and under.
Yeah.
Then it was epiphile, which from 10
to teenagers?
No, it's from 10 to 13. Then you have the hemophile, which is from 14 to 18, I believe.
It was hemophile, because hemophile is a blood attraction, not...
Yeah, hemophile.
Yeah, because hemophilia is an attraction to, like, blood and the consumption of blood. Hemophile is teenagers.
No, hemophilia is a clotting disorder.
Yes. It is that as well, but hemophilia in the kink term is... Yeah. Because it's a reference to vampires, because, like, vampiric hemophilia. Or sanguinine hemophilia, depending on your proclivity of preference.
Oh, so that's why his name's Sanguinius.
Alright, so...
no, it's not why his name's Sanguinius.
Oh, I thought that was like Sanguinius has his name in 40K.
No, Sanguinius comes from the, I believe, Greek word sanguinus, which is often bastardized to sanguine, which basically it's basically another word for like fucking like overlust or no, because the original translation for one of the deadly sins, I don't remember which one, was the sin of sanguinus,
Saying-
like I think it's either greed or like lust, or it was like over lustful greed, something along those lines. It refers to.
Your far also refers to the sanguination of blood from the body because women bleed.
Yes, I mean there is also that, but again, that's an entirely different area that the same word gets applied to. That's like a more modern take with the word versus its traditional original meaning, and because again, words are fucky in the English language, but you know.
Yeah, let's get back to this. The first people attracting minors, although
Hold on, wait, can I make a shit joke before we start this?
No.
Sanguinius has a sanguine.
no, we can't.
Yeah, no, go away.
Because you just admitted it's a shit joke, so there's no point airing it.
Yeah.
Where was I? There was those below legal age of consent. FOIA Act aims to promote scientific information and understanding about people with attraction to children or adolescents.
There's nothing to understand. Go ahead, Scotty, sorry.
It's fair, yeah.
I mean, you say that, but we don't realistically scientifically know in and out how pedophiles work. We just have a vague understanding and a few pretty good ideas.
I mean, fair enough, yeah.
Scientifically, there is like a few cases of a tumor affecting parts of the brain which causes it.
Yeah, brain damage can do it.
Yeah, traumatic head injuries it can cause that kind of switch in the brain.
No, there's like some genetic precedence towards it as well. Like it's quite interesting.
Yeah, still it should all die, but still.
Yeah, but like, you know, I'm just mean like if you look at pedophilia from like a purely scientific point of view, like from criminology standpoint, it's actually kind of an interesting, like proclivity.
Yeah, because when we add to the context of, if you listen to most of these twats, they all say like they have very low impulse control and find themselves unable to like control their attraction.
Yes,
which is in any other normal functioning human. Right, we control our impulses fairly decently.
Yes.
So I think an interesting scientific pointer is, if this is just a actual disease which I have no control over, can they technically then be tried for their crimes?
Yes, they can.
Yes, I believe they can, yes. Because we're humans, we have ability to control our impulses.
Yes.
Anyway, a now deleted website promoting an event titled Bat Camp, often hosted by an actual marginalised maps at a remote campground on September 19th and 22nd. The first of its kind event including strict rules for participations. Mad Camp organised spirited campers from calling the police to the campsite and caution participants against the dangers of camping, such as tripping because you were distracted by sexy minors. This is actually from the website themselves.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to see why you were saying a few days ago, like this might have been a troll actually.
Yeah. This is from an actual website that now be deleted.
What scares me is that I feel like this is. I'm almost like it'd scare me more if this wasn't a troll and it was.
The problem I
Like,
was diving into the map sphere a few times. We've come across some shit where I think there's one guy, it wasn't trolling, said a 4-year-old can consent because a 4-year-old can decide what flavor ice cream they want.
Yeah, it was a genuine line we heard once. Yeah.
Aww?
Yeah.
Did I miss the page?
No, 4-year-olds can decide like what ice creams they like and what ice creams they don't like, and like if they want to eat vegetables or not. Therefore, a 4-year-old is able to consent. It's an actual defense we've heard on this show from a pedophile. It was
Barbara, get the 12 gauge.
it was a unique sentiment, to say the least.
Yeah. So camp organizers did not respond to requests for comment from TDN. Unrelated activist group Maps Union called out what they saw as unfair treatment of campers.
They're pedophiles. They don't deserve fair treatment.
We don't understand.
I mean,
hang on, it gets better. Wait this. We don't understand the alarm among local parents. We are extremely unhappy about the non-violent map community members being labelled as dangerous to children.
They are.
How co-founder Brian Ribbon wrote, The idea of these people would be, for some reason, to try and attack children at a local school is outrageous and deeply offensive.
I mean, the thing is, right, is like the base premise of like pedophiles ought to go camping together. I don't have a problem with that. Like, fair play. It was the location, I think, is where people got pissy.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're near a school and a summer camp for kids.
I mean, it's
Move
just like-
away.
I think they should go. I think they all should get together and go camping, right, in the Appalachian Trail. You know,
Unironically, really nice camping spots on the Appalachian Trail. So, like, yeah, no, genuinely.
yeah, just off the campsites, about 20 miles into the trail, away from the general ranges, like perceived checking areas. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And also, like, make them lose their maps and compasses.
I mean, maybe you got some local deer hunters in the area. I think they saw some movement, and
Oh, yeah, because the deer hunters are going to know that they're pedophiles.
We will tell them.
Yeah, I was about to say, if we tell them.
Oh, yeah, because that definitely wouldn't lead to a deer hunter just accidentally shooting Billy Bob. Sorry, Billy Bob, I thought you were one of them pedophile types. God damn it, Jimmy, what have I told you? If it wears yellow, it's fine. If it wears green, you make him bleed. I told you. Like fucking...
You just imagine like base camp for the hunters. Like, this is what you're looking for. It's like pulling pictures of pedophiles. This is the general look of this person. This one is worth about 15 points. You've got Joe over here. He's got 15 cases against him. He's worth 100.
Yeah, they probably would make it a sport like that as well with a scoring system.
Whoever gets the most points at the whoever gets the most points at the end of the day wins this Barrett 50 cal.
No, whoever gets points of the day, we have Ferro here who's going to stuff and mount it for you. You best catch.
Even stupider. It's like whoever gets the most points, you get like the really small shit football trophies. You like the really shit like 40 quid fucking trophies that are just like the size of the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
You get one of them of just like a dude holding out like a musket. And he just has engraved on it, pedophile king. And then your name.
See, that's it. They're saying like, of hunters go for extreme sports by hunting humans. If there's a pedophile for that, no one would give a shit.
Yeah.
Pedophiles, rapists, and serial killers. I think if we cut down the overpopulation problem in the prisons.
I can get behind that, yeah.
So anyway, keep going. Right.
But we're not allowed to hunt the interesting serial killers, only like the shit ones,
Oh,
yeah.
Hang on, right, this gets better though. This is the same guy talking. The days of maps quietly tolerating extreme sterilization and oppression are over. Yeah, you're expected to hear a lot more from us soon.
You'll hear a lot more from me too, and my shotgun.
Yeah,
don't please.
And all I can think of is that 2,000-pound JDM with the inscription on it, like saying, "As per my last email." If you know what image I'm talking about.
Excuse me, sir, but is that a fucking promise?
What was that?
That was my airsoft gun. That was me racking around in my airsoft rifle.
Hang on. Some online speculation the camp was being hosted by Orion River Campgrounds, but concerned due to its proximity to the nearby Twinfield Union School. Superintendent Matt Foster of the I know you're trying to hear that.
Highlight it. I might be able to see it. Caledonian.
Central Security Union announced via Facebook. Additionally, safe measures would be put in place at schools throughout the duration of the camp. On Thursday, September 19th and Friday, September 20th, we'll have state police and Homeland Security officers on site, both in uniform and in plain clothes, to ensure our safety measures and relay fears to the best of their abilities. Foster wrote, students will not be in the woods on Thursday and Friday. When students are outside for recess, they will be closely supervised by staff in open areas. In addition, Twinfield School will no longer participate in any shared activities with Orion River Campgrounds, he added. We're actively exploring fencing options and to establish a clear physical boundary between our properties. We're implementing proper signing to knit the boundaries between the school and the neighbouring private property. Yeah, that was one thing. It was the school playing field and the campground had no barriers between it. You just walk straight from one to the other.
Yeah.
Was one of the biggest things about it. The community also hosted 2 events for parents to express concerns over the camp, including a community forum event in the Twinfield cafeteria and a meeting of the town select board. President of the select board meeting of Ohio River campground owner. Fucking name.
Highlight it.
There you go.
I think that I believe Jacqueline Rika. That might be how that last name is pronounced.
Jacqueline Reiki.
Right.
About that. Who insisted the event posted no threat to the community. I assure you that we would never do anything as individuals or as a business owner that would threaten the well-being of our children, she said. There was an event alleged to be held at our campground. I assure you our campground has never held or will ever hold a back camp. Ricky acknowledged that the sexual orientation of one of her employees named Mike may have something to do with the allegations. She also invited attendees to visit the campground to explore the site. I never knew about this or give my permission for that, she added. That's it for that particular report. Now again, as far as I know, the website did exist and it was a legitimate port website hosting the campsite and the campground. Problem is, I don't know if it was at this Orion River campground or was another campground entirely. That's the bit I'm not too sure about.
I mean, either way, it wouldn't exactly be hard to set up a fake website portal off their IP.
No. Now, this is the next one I have. So, although this event was quite big, there wasn't many articles I could actually find on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's much more to learn about it, realistically, but...
Yeah, I feel like we already have everything.
Yeah, like, we know where it is, when it is, and what it is, and roughly who was involved.
I mean, let's picture the website.
In Vermont, when the leaves are changing. That's a shit tagline. Jesus. You can tell these guys didn't go to fucking marketing school. That is a shit tagline.
So, yeah, that's the thing. There's enough. The website was enough to say that it was actually a real website, but again, some of the wording around it seemed a bit trollish. And that.
Yeah.
But we do have quotes directly from people saying maps who saying they were going to the camp and how much they hated the fact of being discriminated against. At the same time,
You can't discriminate against pedophiles. They're not people.
Exactly. Pedophiles aren't real.
Pedophiles aren't real. They're just target practice.
No, pedophiles aren't even real. Just like the trees. It's precisely as the pigeons intended.
Oh God, not this again. No, not
because the government is bees.
Because again, in this article, you've got Marshfield or Plainsfield as location first. So,
I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit with my fuckery.
Shut the fuck up with these stupid government is bees.
You're just jealous that I'm funnier than you, Echo. That's all it is.
I'm gonna touch you.
I'm gonna fucking break your Nico kneecap. Shut the fuck up, Fluffball.
yeah.
You're gonna have me some fucking Korean barbecue. You keep it up, motherfucker.
So again, one of the things is
what's that mean? Chinese barbecue?
Vaguely Asia is the joke, you fucking idiot. The joke is I got the wrong country, you fucking idiot. So much fucking wrong with you.
Now again, this particular website, news article, did tie the website to a number of Facebook posts saying that the camp was going ahead, but still didn't give it actually which campsite it was. and all that type of stuff. So everyone just assumed it was one next to the school, but there's several in the area that could have been hosted at which people wouldn't know about it, including the one next to the summer camp that was in the area.
Like either way, I mean, if it was being done at, excuse me, a camp that was like, bless the shit out of me. If they were doing the camp at like a campsite or like out of the way, whereas like when you're at school or like a summer camp for kids, just like a normal ass fucking campground, where like kids aren't likely to turn up. I wouldn't have a problem with it realistically. Like I don't care that far. It's the fact that they were that close to like an education facility of one form or another. Where it's like, no, you said nah, just nah. Like you're registered sex offenders. No.
Yeah, no. You're a registered sex offender. You love.
Like, you're a registered sex offender. Fucking behave yourself. Like, be sensible now.
The website did not specify that location. A number of Facebook posts alleged it would be in the Marshall/Plainfield area. VT Diggers was unable to confirm whether the event was associated with a specific town or a specified individual. So, again, it's one of those ones where we don't actually know what happened, or if it did happen, where it actually happened. All we know is it didn't happen by the school at the moment.
Yeah, it didn't happen at the campgrounds people were worried about.
Yes. and that's about as far as I could dig on the story itself. That particular side of it, because I looked into a few other bits and pieces I could try and dig up on it. And again, there's the main 2 articles I could find and that one video on it.
Yeah.
Now, I did come across a few other bits and pieces, but I didn't say them because they made some about in. They're basically maps in that how dare someone shut down the camp we're going to have, a place for us to meet, discuss things, and talk openly about, our interests, I think he said, as a quote he was using.
You can talk about your interest with the barrel of my shotgun.
So it's I think one of the big people was worried about was it was more of a camp for people to go there and trade things.
Oh.
What do you mean? To be fair, that was probably going to go down either way.
Yeah, probably.
Like whether that was on the itinerary or not, it was like, I mean, like I don't know if any of you guys ever did summer camps as kids, but I mean, like for those of you that did, it was never on the itinerary to trade Pokemon cards, but you fucking did it while you were there. Like you brought your cards, that cunt's got a Charizard, I got 2 Swiggly Puffs, we do a little trade off. Like,
I traded Magic the Gathering cards. There was one guy I got a shit ton of cards off of because he he had a whole bunch of cards he didn't want more, so he just kind of let us go through. And I was able to get to him first, and I just grabbed all of the mana cards and stuffed them into my deck.
When I was a kid, like we were doing like summer camps and shit, we started using like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards like currency. It was great. Like we were straight up. And keep in mind, I went to like Catholic schools and like Catholic camps. We were started doing like blackjack games in the back of the fucking sheds, and like fucking using like the Pokemon trading cards as your betting money.
Oh,
like it was great fun. It was like fucking, like, oh, I'll raise you a Charizard. Well, how about I raise you a shiny Jigglypuff, motherfucker? How about I call and raise your fuckery? It's like, I've not got a shiny. Okay, I'll call you, but I'll call you using 4 Diglets. Fucking bet, motherfucker. Full house. Thank you for your cards. It was great fun.
Okay.
I made a lot of Pokemon cards that year.
I'm back to this place. So this is Before You Act.
Yes.
Right, and their tagline, which I still hate to this day: "Living in truth and dignity."
I don't like. I think I don't like that mission statement that they have.
That reminds me. I don't know why this has reminded me, but this has reminded me of something. This is something I was supposed to bring up earlier, but you kind of threw off my train of thought by just bullying me for being interested in Euro Truck. Another piece of really interesting news came out this week. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
What is it?
A YouTuber is threatening to run for president and unironically might go for it. Like, unironically might not be kidding. Yeah, MatPat is threatening to run for president.
Yeah, actually, no, I have heard about that. I would vote for MatPat 100%.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, you know, like MatPat, the guy that used to do like game theory.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's threatening to run for US president.
I'd vote for MatPat 100%. Let's get MatPat in.
If I was an American, I would vote the shit out of MatPat on that fucking ballot. Yeah. Like, low-key, unironically, I think he'd do a good job.
Yeah, I think he'd do an amazing job.
So, yeah, like his tax ideas are probably gonna be shit, but you know, his stance on human rights will be fucking vibes.
So this is a new part of the recent post now. I haven't seen this before.
Okay.
So you've got them calling out for studies. Matt wanted for a study on sexual satisfaction and well-being.
Okay.
Before you supporting a new study from researchers at Nottingham, Trent University in the United Kingdom. Read more of this.
Research project aims to. He's got a notification. He's got a notification on your desktop just you're on a watch list. Welcome to the watch list.
Here we go. Aims to investigate participation for sexual satisfaction among individuals who are sexually attracted to minors.
You just hear Fat Man T's door get kicked in. Look, get on the ground!
I got more guns than these two, so.
Yeah. Unironically, yeah.
People who are 18 or older identify as sexually attracted to children are invited to participate by doing a 20-minute survey. Interested potential participants can learn more or complete the survey using the following link.
Don't you fucking dare click that button. We're not getting put on that watch. We're not getting put on that particular list. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Please, don't click that button.
Please, I can't afford the allegations of living with a paedophile. I'd like my fucking license back at some point, please. I'd like to pass a background check one day, please, and thank you.
You've been doing this show, you're not going to pass a background check again in your life.
Oh yeah, because my real name is actually connected to this show in some way, sure. Granted, my face is on the show, but that's not good enough for a background check.
Well, there was a new report on the injustice experienced by minor attracted persons, people, and the professionals with the mental health system and academia. This report was written to comply the Mass Mental Health and Human Rights Study Group. Work on a group consisting of 10 therapists, researchers, and minor attracted people. It was formed in November of 2023 as a result of discussions about a monthly meeting before you act.
Pedophiles shouldn't get human rights because, again, they're not human.
No, unfortunately, they are human.
Yeah.
Can we like revoke that status?
Unfortunately, not.
No. I as much as I hate pedophiles, I don't agree in like taking away people's human rights no matter what.
Yeah.
We can't like downgrade them to a frog or something.
No, I don't believe in revoking people's human rights.
And it's slippery slope.
Like,
that one.
Yeah.
So this is what they offer. Apparently, this group. That's my favorite one. Education. Invite a representative before you act to speak at your university class or workshop or conference.
Hang on, hear him out. How much is it? How expensive is it to get a representative of Before You Act to turn up?
Oh no, what are you planning?
Don't worry about what I'm planning.
Are you just gonna have one show up on the podcast?
Understanding of people attracted to children, our adolescents consider inviting us to speak at class or conference. Representative Before You Act include both mental health professionals and volunteers who are themselves. Oh yeah, get targets.
Oh,
good free targets. It's amazing.
Hang on, let them cook. They might make us money. Let them cook. Wait a minute.
Provide research, back information, and first-hand knowledge. I both like to work with or live as a minor attracted people. A 1 or 2 hour presentation involves sharing about personal experiences, describing insights we've gained and learning, and leaving ample time for questions and discussions. We found these face-to-face exchanges can be dramatically increase understanding in a short amount of time. We've spoken to mental health and research professionals as well as university students in the field of psychology, social work, and human sexuality.
So this is a list of places to avoid. Got it.
Windsor University, Northwestern University, Howard's University of Washington.
As it like very, very quick, like you say, like, oh, this is a list of places to avoid. Unironically, no, from an education standpoint,
Yeah.
if they're willing to have like people this controversial come in to do a speech, they're actually worth going to do education at, because they don't give a fuck if it's controversial or not. It's correct info.
Yeah.
So it's like, especially like if you're like going to do something like social work studies or something like that, like it's actually kind of helpful information if you're going to get into social work.
Also, they say that's one thing with universities. I always said that if you want to invite one side in to talk about something, you should always invite the other side and generally do it as well.
Yeah.
So like say, although I disagree with stuff Ben Shapiro says, you should still let them sit there and talk, because then you know what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to bring him onto the fucking news or anything, but like, yeah, like in education, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in education, it's important to know that another opinion exists and potentially why it's fucking stupid.
National Congress Association of Rental Sexual Offenders Law. Of Rational Sexual Offenders Law. How's it?
Where are you looking?
The last one on the list.
The last
National Conference of the National Association for Rational Sexual Offence Laws.
Yeah. It doesn't say how much they cost. And then you have to ask them.
Out of curiosity, it's a link to the website and links and sources. Or
It's not back put there for your base.
put a link to before you hacked into this links and sources for me. I'm up to shenanigans.
Are you gonna invite one onto the podcast? We're just gonna mercilessly.
I'm going to attempt to get them to do an interview.
This should be interesting.
Not for them, it won't be.
Not for them, but for us. This is gonna be like amazing.
And that's exactly why neither of you are helping to do the interview. I'm going to do it on my own. And I'll pre-record it and make you watch. But I will let you send me fucking questions that you want answered by them. I'll ask them if they're appropriate. If your question is something along the lines of what's your favorite flavor of buckshot, it's not being asked. Now, if you have an actual genuine question, then I'll add it to the list if I can talk them into doing the interview.
Is your favorite drink Dragon's Breath or KTT?
If you're going to be executed by firing squad, what caliber would you prefer? Personally, I'd go for 30-06 myself. I mean, I don't know about you, good pedophile, but
would you prefer hanging, beheading, knife to the gut?
Firing
squad. I've forever argued firing squad is unironically the best form of execution. Like, if I was gonna be executed and I got a choice in the matter, I'd ask for the firing squad, honestly. Like, shoot me right between my goddamn eyes. If you're gonna kill me, at least have the guts to look me in the eye while you do it and do it like a fucking man.
No,
shoot me dead.
If you really want to go die, try, the Jewish approach.
What, just enter Palestine?
No, the gas band.
Oh, well. Nah, I think my joke was funnier, but oh well.
Yeah,
no, mine was only a little racist. Yours was very.
I guess I was very. I'm happy about
Mine was only a little racist. Mine was discreetly racist. Mine was the kind of racism where Soda would have been mad, but.
Now,
very quick. Speaking of Soda, just for people at home that are concerned, I spoke to Soda like after last episode, and that they're fine. They just got overwhelmed. Yeah. They're not here this week because obviously it's a very rough subject.
Yes.
So, I just thought I'd get that out of the way quickly because I forgot to do it earlier.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Given their general positions, I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted them to do the episode, but also I have a standing rule with these episodes and just every dark episode where it's look, if this topic's going to be too much, feel free to just not do this one. It's fine. If you don't feel up for it, because it can take a toll on you when you do these darker topics.
Yeah.
You know, on the bright side, you know, like this isn't as bad as the last two were because I've not sworn very loudly yet. Whereas last time I was already in the middle of a screaming match with a German man. The last time we did this,
I mean, I really
a
do
German man who couldn't hear me.
I really do man if you want, so the Echo can experience.
You know what? Yeah, go for it. Fuck it.
Fine. I think fine again.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh boy, what are we doing?
We're looking for a German doctor that's like studies maps, and some of the shit he says is just fucking. Bleh.
Oh shit! I'm going to spell this again.
What are you trying to spell?
I'm going to put the whole fucking thing in because maps doesn't work.
Before we do this, I'm gonna go take a piss.
I'll say if you just Google Maps, it's gonna bring up the song "Maps" by the fucking Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
It did, yes. Say Moon 5.
Yeah. Unironically, yeah.
I'll be back. I gotta piss.
So I need to type it out properly again this time around.
Okay, MINOR.
MIN. There it is. Found it.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's a new video.
German doctor studies minor attracted people. Search.
I'm pretty it was a Vice article that did it.
I believe I found the fucking organization that we're on about. Let me see. I was wrong. Wrong tab. Nope, can't find them. Oh well.
Yeah, I think the Vice article that's probably taken down by now.
Probably, given Vice went out of business. Unironically, I still miss Vice. They did some good shit once in a while.
What are we talking about?
I'm just complaining about the death of Vice.
Vice City?
No, the news company.
I've got two recent videos that I haven't seen before, so.
Yeah, I'll go for those then. Why not?
The top one, shall we?
You never know. The German doctor might pop up and go, "It's that guy."
So we've got trigger warning, a disclaimer.
Did we remember to put our one up this week?
No, we didn't.
We forget.
We forgot.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah, we forgot to do that.
You useless.
Well, fair, I don't have it on hand.
Yes, you do. It's linked into your fucking OBS.
It's not.
Yeah, the little one we usually put up like right at the start of an episode, the black one, where it's like fucking.
That's
the black one.
We say bad shit and also please don't sue us because copyright.
Yeah,
that one.
I've got the copyright one there, but I haven't got the general one saying
that's fine.
disturbing content warning.
It literally says half of the shit we say in this show should not be taken seriously.
It doesn't.
Hold on.
Or it says something to that extent of we say bad shit.
No, it's literally.
Hold on, what are the? Hold on, can we just see like just what the top comment on? I'm curious.
Oh god, they left comments on. That was brave of them. Is that in German? Or am I going blind?
So, saying minor attracted people instead of pedophile is the same as saying non-consensual instead of rape.
Yeah. We do not know the outcome of what occurred in Germany. Several of the children were interviewed. I think we're going to talk about that German doctor here.
Yeah, because I found the project, but I couldn't find any info on the doctor himself. It was the Dunkeld something prevention something.
I remember that one, yeah.
I think it was like the Dunkeld Prevention Project, I think it was called, or Provincial...
Hold on, Fatman, you scroll back down. There was a comment about the gays, and I kind of wanted to read.
Oh, for God's sake.
The most fucked up part about the LGBT community
Oh.
worked so hard on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically that particular comment is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's like it's to not equate gay with child abuse, and then this shit happens.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, because the LGBTQ community, especially in California, is kind of letting them in because they've got their own
Right,
flag
can-
and shit.
Can someone actually read the comments so I can weigh in, please? I'd like to understand
Right,
Okay,
what
so
the
you're already.
discussion is here.
The most fucked up part is the LG. I can barely read this as well, so I might like fuck this up. The most fucked up part is the LGBT community worked so hard to not equate gay with child abuse. It was a whole fight, and now some random group is trying to invade the space and invalidate what was fought for.
Okay, yes, yeah. So Echo's take on it was right.
Yeah,
It's less calling out the California issue and more just being like fuck maps in general for
Yeah.
trying to get into the LGBTQIA
the
plus
com-
community.
the comment below that is serial killers have mental health issues too, but I doubt many would seriously think we should normalize their behaviors.
I mean,
I'm-
some of their behaviors, but like,
And there's the comment below that one is I remember when they were popping up in 2020 and the gay community immediately said, yeah, fuck no.
yeah.
I mean, there was
And we keep saying fuck no.
there was an article that bill that tried to pass in Scotland. I remember.
Yes.
And
What was it?
it was a bill about I think it was about the gay protection rights.
Yes,
you know,
the protected class status rights.
Yeah.
It was getting updated where they tried to sneak in a line that would have made pedophiles a protected class.
But the,
So they would have had the same protective rights as like homosexuals, lesbians, etc., etc.
yeah, because I think the way the word
whoever looked at that and said okay needs to be investigated.
well, looking up, it was caught by an oversight and like bashed straight out.
As it wasn't like it didn't say it like outright. It was like there was like a basically a loophole that would have let it through, and it was it basically like skated through on an accident, and like a lot of people missed it, and then like one guy spotted it and went, "Wait a motherfucking minute,
Yeah,
hold on, boys, wait a minute." You know, fucking it got caught literally just in time. I mean, it was like 2 days before it was supposed to get voted on. It got pulled.
yeah.
It was like, oh, that was close.
Everyone said was that it was a protection against anyone who any sexual orientation, ability, or feel of their sexual orientation could be would
What?
be classified
Did you
as
just have a fucking straw?
I did,
No,
yeah.
he sneezed.
Oh.
Will
Yeah,
be
it was.
will be classified as a protected class under the law, and therefore cannot be prosecuted or demeaned for acting out of their sexual proclivity.
Discriminated was the word, not demeaned, but yeah.
So, in where it worked is a market identify saying they're now protected sexual orientation because their orientation is with children. Therefore, the law can no longer stop them from having sex with children.
Yes, it was. And like in theory, what the bill was trying to pass through was really good. Unfortunately, a glaring error there of you're about to accidentally legalize being a fucking pedophile. You
Yeah,
idiot.
yeah.
I will
Unfortunately,
fix that error.
yeah. Please go fix that, and then like you can
Yeah,
draft
that-
it in, like vote on
Yeah,
it being
just throw like an
that's
extra line in there, just saying does not apply to pedophiles. You know, just
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was last year that got caught. But just no one stuck in.
yeah, because it was. I think like it first like got some notoriety when we did that last maps episode, and it was like a couple weeks after that the government noticed and heard and went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
a.
but it was,
It's just like, oh shit.
to remember correctly, it was Article 15,
Yes, I got Article 15. It got
which you
kiboshed.
were angry about that at the time.
Mm.
So we actually sat
I
down.
was, yeah.
We sat down and read right through the entire bill, and I spotted it, and I was like, ah, shit.
I'm still mad at the Article 15 though.
Uh,
I'm still
was the
like as
What was the
So
Article 15 again?
so Article 15 is basically a British law where basically if so like the Scottish government is going to pass a bill.
Before you go on, I almost confused 15 and I was like, hold on, but I stopped myself because I was like, hold on, that's not right.
Yeah, so Article 15 is a bill, like a law in Britain, where basically if like the Scottish government's going to pass like a new bill or a new law or whatever for the government, like for like voting for the government, And the English government basically feels it covers like laws that Scotland aren't allowed to make decisions on because they're not devolved matters. They can send an Article 15 that basically overrides the Scottish government and says, no, you're not allowed to do that. Now, the reason I'm still mad at the Article 15 is while, yes, it was done in good faith of like, hey, you're about to make a fuck up and legalize pedophilia, unfortunately, issues surrounding like gender bills, sexual equality acts, that type of shit, which unfortunately said bill very much was covering, even though it was going to legalize pedophiles, is a devolved matter. So using an Article 15 on it was woefully inappropriate.
It was inappropriate, but I understand why he did it at the time. It was he basically wanted a fast shot to get rid of it quickly rather than fight his way through the Parliament building again with it.
Oh, you mean that thing the Scottish government was already doing? You mean do that issue of like point out the error and pull the bill before it gets voted on? You know, that thing the Scottish government was already in the process of doing before they got Article 15 because they'd already noticed the error themselves.
They weren't though, because remember Stern was still pushing it through.
Yeah, she was still pushing the bill, but she'd already stated we're going to be pushing a modified version of this bill. There's going to be a delay to the vote because we have to make the changes.
I don't know. I didn't get a part of the time. I remember that statement came after the fact that Article 15 already hit.
No, the statements came out before the Article 15 happened. We just didn't catch them when we were doing the dive in.
I didn't see any of those statements last time we did the dive.
Yeah, no, okay. the statement it happens a lot with Scottish politics, where the Scottish government will put out a statement and then there's like a 2-day delay before the news picks up said statement. It's weird.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can remember catching it because I remember was last time we did it was the Sturgeon was still trying to push it through and then the Article 15 hit.
Yeah, so I noticed it like a couple weeks after we did the episode, and I was like, by the time I'd noticed it, it was a bit late to go back and like fucking say, oh, by the way, remember that thing we spoke about a month ago?
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, I won't bother mentioning it, but since it's relevant now, I will bring it up. I'm still fucking mad at that.
So, go play this video.
You know, and even then, I want to say this as well. Even then, of like, well, again, you know, it was done for the right reasons of like we can't let pedophiles be like legal. It doesn't matter. It was still an illegal Article 15. Like, I'm sorry. That Article 15 was posted in an unlawful manner. Like, you know, unfortunately, Scotland has the right, if they really want to legalize pedophilia, because that is a devolved matter. Using Article 15 on it should not have passed.
Problem is with that bill, like I said at the time, although it's a devolved matter in Scotland, passing that bill would have actually affected England as well at the time. Because I mean, if Scotland legalised it, they come into England. We'll still have to try and follow the precedent Scotland set. Same with those cards they were issuing out at the time.
Oh, you mean that thing that England never does? You mean like England would have to do that thing they've literally never done ever, where Scotland makes a decision and then England immediately does the exact fucking opposite because it's funny.
I'm not getting the English-Scottish debate. I'm just telling what I know how the bill would have worked in general.
It would have worked the same way every Scottish law has worked, where Scotland does something that's actually a really good law and England does the exact opposite because fuck their fucking civilian population, apparently. The only exception is when England makes Scotland do a thing before the rest of the country does it, and then it works, and then England has a go at it. And fucks it up every single goddamn time.
Yeah, it must be they most likely experiment on like the benefits of some happens in Scotland first.
Yeah.
Like universal credit happened in Scotland first, where it didn't anywhere else.
Yeah, as do all of the changes to universal credit. They always get done to Scotland first. Especially if it's going to be a pay cut to universal credit, the Scottish get hit with it first.
So just fuck the Scots, I guess.
Yeah, straight up, yeah. And people wonder why we're so desperate for independence. We literally get used as this country's fucking guinea pigs. and we constantly get gaslit into thinking that, oh, as a country you'd never survive on your own, you can't afford it. Motherfucker, England would collapse without us overnight. Our economy is propped up as a union like nation by fucking Scottish oil and whiskey.
You guys should pull up France and revolt.
We're fucking tempted. Yeah, we had 2 shots at it, but also the English were cheating last time. They had fucking cannons. We didn't.
Anyway, get back to
I'm sure if Matt Pat got elected, he'd bet.
Ah, yes, if Matt Pat got elected to be the leader of a different country, he would be able to fix the problems in a different country, yeah.
No, I meant he'd give American support, but yeah.
American support for absolutely dick.
Yeah.
Because Americans can only fight in flat Roman grounds where nothing gets in the way. Unfortunately, Scotland is a mountainous terrain where everything gets in the way.
Especially like right on that border at Scotland and England, it's just hills and forests.
Yeah, that's why we have a bomber fleet to just kind of level everything, and then we go in.
You mean that thing that Germany tried and failed at miserably?
Yeah. You see, unlike America, our hills are made of like stone and granite, which bombs don't like.
And slate and marble. We got a lot of marble.
You know,
it's weird because we don't mine the marble, but we have a lot of marble in our mountains. It's weird.
It's just kind of chilling there, hanging out.
Yeah, like we have a shit ton of marble and we just don't mine it for some reason. It doesn't make sense.
Is the Parliament building when Parliament got revamped? Right, they brought marble from Italy to revamp it and being bothered with Scottish marble.
That as well. We got you got the Lake District, which is 92% hill, and almost all of it has got marble at the fucking 3 feet below the ground.
Marble,
and we're not mining that.
Yeah, marble and granite, which is beautiful.
Yeah, it's like we got marble right fucking there. Why are you importing it from Italy?
Because they're stupid.
Yes.
Yeah. The British government is incredibly stupid, but you say that's a hate crime now.
Wait, hold on, real.
It's not fucking far away from it at this point, yeah.
Yes, that guy got a £6,000 fine for a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
There was also that guy that group of guys that have gone to jail because they all individually threw fucking McDonald's milkshakes at fucking different prime ministers.
Yeah.
I still love that's become a tradition. It's like every time a prime minister starts being a little bit of a dickhead, someone throws a McDonald's milkshake at him.
Yeah. Wait, specifically for McDonald's, or will any milkshake suffice?
It's like I think you can do it with any milkshake, but so far it's been almost all McDonald's milkshakes, and it's always the banana one too. It's really funny.
What do I McDonald's one for? It's because just down from the House of Parliament, there's McDonald's drive-through there. But apparently the only milkshake actually on all the time is banana.
Yeah. No, but it's like Boris Johnson got one thrown at him. Fucking, I think Keir Starmer's had one now.
Keir Starmer got one recently. Boris Johnson did. Theresa May got it.
Theresa May got it. David Cameron got one.
He got two, actually.
He got two, you're right. He got two. Liz Truss got skipped because she wasn't in long enough for anyone to get there in time to do it to work.
Yeah.
She was literally prime minister for 2 weeks. It was fucking hilarious.
Why only 2 weeks? What happened?
She gave up.
Okay, what happened was she came in and said, "I'm going to fix the economy by not borrowing any more money and reducing out the overheads." Then she immediately
She then said, "I'm not a quitter. I'm here to stay."
Yeah. Then she immediately hang on. Then she immediately borrowed $1 trillion.
Yep.
And then realized, I made a fucky whoopsie, and then bailed.
Came out and said, "I am resigning." It was so funny because like the fucking the one of the British news channels, fucking like Good Morning Britain, basically predicted it.
Yeah,
they knew she wasn't going to last long because they did a skit for the full 2 weeks where it had a head of lettuce with like an A4 cutout of her face glued to it, and it was like sat next to an open window during a heat wave, right? And the game was, who will last longer, this lettuce or Liz Truss as prime minister? And you know what? It was a cabbage. You're right. It was like a head of cabbage. But do you know what? The fucking head of cabbage outlived the bitch.
Yeah.
The head of cabbage was still edible when she resigned.
And they're still green. Because you're supposed to go on the show at Good Morning Britain. You're supposed to come on the show at the time. And she kept putting it off. And the South said, "Well, let's see it last longer. Let's see it last longer." This head of cabbage or her actually coming on the show. The original joke. And then it was like she bought the bird money and so let's see what lasts longer now, the cabbage or her. And then 3 days she was gone.
Yeah, she resigned like 3 days later. It was incredible. Like fucking it got to a stage, Echo, right, where you could go to like a bookmaking shop, right? You're like a betting shop. You could bet money on it.
Yeah.
Like places like Ladbrokes and William Hill were taking bets on who will last longer, the Prime Minister in power or this head of cabbage on national television.
I think one guy won that bet and he got like £1 million off it.
He did, yes.
Nice.
It even got to the point where, like, on like YouTube and Twitch, Good Morning Britain had a live stream going 24/7 of the head of cabbage.
Yeah.
So you could keep an eye on it to see, like, how's it looking, though.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And people wonder why I frequently make the accusation that the great British people are the best at cyberbullying people. We invented it and we perfected it and we do it to each other on a daily basis.
No, you missed them, right? Remember, because Government also did. They did a bookies rate next to them on the streams now and again.
They did, yes.
What the current bookie ratings are.
Every once in a while, the live stream would bring up the bookies rating. But they did, I think they only did it once on live television.
They did once on live, yeah.
Stats, and then they got in trouble with Ofcom.
Yeah, for promoting gambling.
Because they didn't technically have the proper licensing to promote gambling. So they got I got a little bit of a slap on the wrist off Ofcom, but like Ofcom let it slide because it was really fucking funny.
It's also come on Britain that had, I think it was Cameron on, and they're about the rape gangs going around. And
yes,
I can't remember. I can't remember what his name was. He had a list of them. He goes, "Well, I've never heard of the gangs." Well, here you go. And it's hands list he has over them.
That was Philip Schofield.
Yeah, his hands list the Prime Minister against. Well, here you go. There's a list of all the rape gangs and the accusations against them.
Yeah, here's a list of everyone that currently works in the Great British Government that has been accused of having a connection to these rape gangs. Like on a bit of like folded up A4 paper, but he folded it up wrong, so some of the names were visible to the camera when he handed it over.
I think he did that on purpose, to be honest.
No, he came out several times like, I genuinely did not mean to do that. That was just a fucky wucky. I didn't realize the paper was folded like that. I'm so sorry. I did not intend to just fucking because it had like their names and their home addresses.
Yeah, and
there's 3 names and addresses that were like fucking wide open viewable to the camera. And I was like, I didn't mean to accidentally dox these government workers live on television. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was.
I did they Philip Schofield and ITV, the channel that hosts the news show, got the shit sued out of them for that one. Because they unfortunately for everyone involved, I think it was like 3-4 names that like were displayed were later proven to not be guilty. They had no connection whatsoever. It was false allegations that had been made. Some man just doxed like 4 innocent cunts on accident, and they got fucking raped in the courts.
They weren't involved, but the departments were.
Yes, it was like the departments they worked for had connections, but they themselves had no connection whatsoever. They didn't know, like literally, they didn't know anything. They'd been kept in the dark by like their bosses and shit. And it was like, oh,
that is a major. Oops.
It was a really big fucking oops, but like.
But I think the history of how TV just didn't have like our government. Like, I've never heard of these allegations. Well, here you go. Here's the emails you need. There you go.
Yeah.
There's the
Here's
file.
all of the publicly accessible information on it. There you go.
That was like several times to our government officials. They just hand over. Here you go. Here's the evidence for you. Do your job.
And because it's funny, because it's a technique that like for some reason still gets taught like when you do like politics at university, where it's like, okay, like if a controversy like happens, just deny knowledge.
Yeah.
And like, see, back in like World War II and shit, yeah, you could get away with that. Because like, yeah, okay, maybe you didn't hear through the grapevine. Motherfucker, we have this wonderful little thing called the internet. And that was Philip Schofield's point that day, was like, so you don't know anything about the allegations or the people involved? Not a clue, never heard the allegations. I got all this information off of Google. It took me an hour. This is everyone that's believed to be involved, their home addresses and their departments in the government. This took me an hour to collate on Google. You have no excuse. Like that was the point he was trying to make of, look, like it's publicly accessible information and you're the fucking government. You have no excuse here. And in the process accidentally doxed 4 innocent fucking people. Which isn't funny, but it's fucking funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Whoopsie fucksies.
Yeah, the doxing itself, not funny. The situational circumstance around the dox, fucking hilarious.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was Sturgeon's husband, wasn't it? Who got to do that apology live on TV. That he he stole £140,000 and spent it on porn sites.
Yeah, that was the husband of Scottish First Minister, fucking Nicola Sturgeon.
Now, the bullying he got was from the TV cast was like, I don't know what's more embarrassing, the fact that he stole the money or the fact he couldn't find free porn.
Yeah. That was... I want to say, was that Naga Manchetti that said that on BBC?
It was, yes. He got parts that as well.
I remember Naga Manchetti she got in real big trouble over it, because I think she was still with the BBC at the time when she said it.
He was, yes.
The big black cock. I could never take that name seriously.
It was either Naga Manchetti or it was like a different news broadcaster. I remember it being a BBC caster, but then like Naga Manchetti's the only one I ever remember the fucking name of because she's awesome.
I think what said, she said it live when he did the speech live, and she mentioned at the end of the live broadcast, and they're still live in the stations. I don't know which is more embarrassing, the fact that he stole money for porn or he couldn't find the free porn himself.
If I remember the context,
it's not that hard to find free porn.
If I remember the context correctly, she didn't realize she was still live. She'd like finished doing like the news broadcast and like thought they'd like flicked off, like the cameras were down, and she'd said it as like a joke to like our co-host, and just she was still live on air.
Yeah,
and no one could stop her in time and like be like, no, we're still live. Like no one knew what she was about to say. Yeah, like by the time anyone realized what she was about to say, she'd already fucking said it, and it was like, oh, fuck.
It's just like in slow motion when you're desperately trying to like jump out and stop something, but you're not gonna make it in time. It's just like, no.
Like I imagine there was a producer hauling ass from the other side of the studio at full sprint, trying to just rugby tackle the camera, you know, just no. I just didn't get it at all. And Bish just went, I don't know what's more embarrassing, the fact he had to apologize, or the fact he couldn't find free porn, and then the broadcast just cuts. The broadcast just fucking cuts from there.
The cameraman just yanked out the.
It vanished from the TV for 3 weeks.
Yeah, legit. Like she says that line, and then the broadcast cuts to like fucking a BBC advert for like fucking 9 o'clock tonight is gonna be EastEnders. You know, and it just moved on. It was like, wait a minute, did she just fucking say what I think she fucking? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, and then Twitter was on fire for like a month, and it was beautiful.
Wait, hold on. When is it Twitter on fire?
Oh, it
was like on fire in like the good way. People were pissing themselves laughing.
Yeah, right. Vegas, do you remember the Blue Peter days?
I do remember the days of Blue Peter. Yes.
My funny thing about Blue Peter was when the Blue Peter were denied basic human rights.
Yes.
Because
that happened.
Oh wait, hold on. What was it?
Well, what BBC as part of its rule is they cannot be political, right? They can't like favor one side or the other in our parties, right? Now, a Blue Peter presenter, not an A, in his own private setting, talking to some people, mentioned that he was voting for, I think it was Labour at the time.
Yes.
Right? So, the BBC, who they host Blue Peter, got on and said that he was being sanctioned and fired because he was giving out a political opinion as a Blue Peter presenter. They then sent a memo around saying that Blue Peter presenters could no longer vote.
Yes.
Because...
Sorry, I couldn't understand that with your accent. Who couldn't vote anymore?
Presenters of the children's TV show Blue Peter as presented by the BBC.
Why couldn't they vote?
Because basically BBC as a news corporation aren't allowed to show any political bias, right?
Oh, okay.
Basically, this one guy that had been hosting Blue Peter had said during a private setting, I believe the reason he got in trouble was because one of the guys he'd said it to was a reporter and he didn't know about it.
Yeah.
He basically said who he was going to be voting for, and that asshole published that.
That's some bullshit.
And with Wilson's excuse BBC gave up for this.
Reporters wonder why they're so hated sometimes.
The excuse BBC gave up for this one was...
journalists. Sorry.
As Blue Peter presenters, they have a strong influence over the children.
Ah, yes, the children who can't vote anyway.
Yes, the children who go to the ballot boxes and vote.
Yeah. Because they believed that by the children getting this idea in their head, that they would pressure their parents into voting that way.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I don't know if they've basically ever seen a British parent with a child before.
Yeah, let me tell you something. When I was like young enough to still be watching Blue Peter, if I tried to talk my mum into voting for a party she wasn't into, I would have been backhanded.
Yeah.
I think you would have been slapped into the next year.
Fuck it. Frankly, if I tried to talk her into voting for a party she was going to vote for anyway, I still would have been backhanded because I was about 9. I was 9 and didn't understand politics. I would have been slapped for daring to try.
You just
yeah.
had the get beaten out of you.
Even down
Yeah, I would have had the politics beat out of me.
Even
You've
down
heard
to
of beating the gay out of. You've heard of beating the gay out of your. Now comes the beating the politics out of them. I was gonna say political. but that
You know,
doesn't
fucking
sound
fuck pray the gay away. Beat the ballot paper out of him. Fucking job done.
yeah. What's even
right. How
funny?
dare you, Republican? Boom, 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 boom.
What's even funny? At the time, our comedy programs on the BBC, right, had to do fair, equal political bias as well. So they're making jokes about the Conservatives and about the Labour. They were a third party, technically Liberal Democrats and was, and now for the whole time to balance, Liberal Democrats. And moving on. The most useless party in history.
My favorite controversy that came from the days of Blue Peter was, do you remember that time Blue Peter got in trouble for vote rigging?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, so the children's TV show Blue Peter got in trouble because they had like a telethon like voting contest. Because like they had like a regular kind of bit on Blue Peter where like they would have like a bunch of animals at the Blue Peter studio, right?
Yeah.
And basically, if I remember rightly, I think it was a cat they had this particular run.
Yeah.
And like basically like, they were gonna keep the cat, so they basically did a telephone contest for the kids of like, hey, call up, right? Get your parents to like call up. It'll cost you £1, right? And you can vote on what we're gonna name the new Blue Peter cat. So obviously a bunch of kids called in and voted, and then the Blue Peter presenters completely ignored the result because they'd already named the cat behind the scenes and just named it that, and then lied to the kids on TV and went, and you guys voted to name the cat Tiddles. And then like basically like a bunch of kids like basically started saying to each other like at schools and shit, like, I don't remember voting for Tiddles. Like, did you vote for Tiddles? And then obviously that got back to parents, and then all the parents started talking across the country, and everyone figured out literally no one voted for the name fucking Tiddles.
Yeah, I remember that one. What happened was,
I might have to go here. I think we're about to be hit by a tornado. I will catch you guys later.
Fucking what? Excuse me. You said that so casual. And just like, I'm gonna have to go. I think a tornado is gonna hit me. Fucking excuse me. Go, motherfucker. Get to the shelter. Go. Why are you so chill about that? Fucking what do you mean?
You see,
Jesus Christ, Echo.
The way Echo can fix that is by not living in the tornado zone.
Man, she's like, I might have to go. I might just, a fucking natural disaster might hit my house in a few minutes. Fucking go, motherfucker. Go for it. Jesus, man.
He's still here.
Why are you so shit? I know. I think he just left the computer. I don't think he even bothered logging off. Fucking. We're going to hear it now in like 10 minutes. Just fucking.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Everyone's hanging on. My War Thunder game.
My save file. My logins. His hard drive flies past him. My porn. No, my porn.
My Dr. Yif. No.
No.
I gotta tell you, when they taking valuables into the bunker, in the basement, it's full of My Little Pony shit.
Wait a minute, that's what he's in the basement. Wait a minute, where's he taking cover?
I don't know.
He's already in the basement. Wait a minute. Hang on. That's an excellent point. He's already in the fucking basement. Wait a minute. She's got a second basement. Fucking hold on.
Well, it's something especially like Storm Cellar, which is technically a basement adjacent to your basement.
It's got a dedicated tornado basement. Fuck it.
Well, if he has, that means his mother got some money.
His mother's a psychologist, so yeah.
Again, like, they're gonna fix all these problems by like moving.
Yeah, like, don't live in Tornado Alley, you fucking idiot.
I always say about America, like, oh, we hit by another tornado, it came out of nowhere. Like, where do you live? Oh, I live in Tornado Alley. So it wasn't really a surprise that you got hit by a tornado, was it?
It would be like complaining you got stabbed when you live in Stabbyville.
Yeah.
Like, the clue's in the name, Diane. You live in Stabbyville.
My house is gone. Okay, what's it made out of? Wood.
And where do you live? Oh, you know, Firetown. Aha.
No, most houses in Toronto are built out of wood. And I'm just thinking, you know, brick and concrete, that fucking thing.
Yeah, but it's expensive. Like, if a tornado breaks your concrete house, it's more expensive to fix it than the wooden house.
Yes, but then it's likely it'll take an F5 to do that instead of just taking an F1 light breeze.
I mean, you're not wrong, but still.
I mean, if an F5 lands, no matter where you are, you're fucked.
I still can't get over just how casually it was like, oh yeah, I think a tornado was going to hit my house. I have to go in a minute. Fucking... How regularly are you getting hit with tornadoes where you're there just like, yeah, this is a Tuesday. Might get hit by a tornado.
Well, Tornado Alley...
Not to worry about, man. I'm Marco, and I'm going to get hit by a tornado. Welcome to Jackass. This is the Tornado Challenge. Fucking what?
To fair, right. I don't know, fact, if tornadoes happen in England, they do in America. As Brits, we wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, we wouldn't give a flying fuck.
We'd be outside flying fucking kites. You know, trying to get some nice good air in the kite, get some good stunts going around.
Hi, I'm Michael Knoxville, and welcome to Scouser Jackass. This is the Tornado Challenge.
I want to see how far I can get by using this kite and flying upwards.
You're going to fly upwards up this tornado. Welcome to Scouser Jackass.
Share and like and subscribe. Here we go.
It's just like fucking royalty-free like rock music. Just man just gets fucking sideswiped by a rogue ambulance. Just
wakes up.
Wipe out.
Wakes up. So what happened there was an ambulance hit me instead. So it came off an ambulance dodging challenge, which I failed. How are you not dead?
There's ambulance dodging in a tornado at 3 a.m. Gone wrong, gone sexual, not clickbait.
Look, close that tornado. You see a pair of tits just fly straight past.
Oh fuck, oh fuck! I can picture that thumbnail as well. I can absolutely picture that thumbnail and tag just like live on YouTube. Just fucking tornado ambulance dodging gone wrong, gone sexual at 3 a.m. Hashtag not clickbait, not a joke.
Today on Jackass, and Scouts Jackass, we have a tsunami coming. So we bought some surfboards.
This is the Gnarly Ride Challenge, only on Scouser Jackass.
Now the challenge here is when we catch the crest of the wave, as we go into the city, we've got to dodge the buildings as come round. Next video.
You just got like a midget from fucking like the Lake District there with like a tiny little children's surfboard. Like, hey, I'm Icklegood. How you doing?
Next day. Well, the water's now receded, and as you can see, the town looks better. It's actually been cleaned.
Yeah, he's got a bit of like rebar sticking out of his chest, you know, just fucking not worrying about the rebar in his chest. Just like fucking.
There's no trash. The junkies that are down the street are now gone, which is a good thing, but sad because they can't be smacked later.
David Attenborough turns up, you know, and here we see the wild YouTube moron in his natural habitat. Yes. With a rebar sticking out of his chest and a distinct lack of fucks to give towards his own personal safety.
Now, falling down this unique architecture of Liverpool, we now
Truly
see
a majestic species.
We now see the local smackhead sifting through the powder debris to find these needles. As you see, he's now found one. Oh look, another male has challenged him for the right to use the needle first. Oh, it's getting a bit leery.
Scrap.
They seem to have drawn their own personal defense items. Now, as you know, the Scouts come equipped with a knife at birth. Here they are now in the dance of fighting.
I would pay so much money to listen to David Attenborough just chanting the word scrap. I would pay so much money to hear David Attenborough chanting scrap.
No,
Scrap.
Tell better voicing it. Morgan Freeman. Now here we have the local Scouser.
Again, I would pay a lot of money just to hear Morgan Freeman chanting the word scraps. I would pay so much money to listen to that.
Scrip. I would say it's scrip, and I say it's a scrip.
It's just scraps. So much money.
It's got that southern drawl to it. I just like basic. Just relax now. You can say the most fucked up shit to me ever, and I'll just feel relaxed and calm.
Do you know who else has a voice like that, and I can't explain why?
Who?
Samuel L. Jackson.
He does it more aggressive with his voice.
No, have you ever heard like there's like a really fun like video you can get on like YouTube, and like it's like an ebook now, where it's just Samuel Jackson reading a bedtime story called "Go the Fuck to Sleep."
Yeah, I've seen it.
And like unironically, it's one of the most dulcet, relaxing sound clips on planet Earth. Is just fucking Samuel L. Jackson being like, and then the little girl put her head down, and her daddy said, "Go the fuck to sleep."
Yeah.
You know, he's being really aggressive. It's really quite relaxing, and I don't know why.
I tell you, my favorite things I listened to as a kid was Brian Blessed did some audiobooks at the time.
Yeah, he still does them. He's like the like 4 o'clock bedtime stories with Brian Blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. He still does them like every couple of months. He puts a new one out on Spotify.
Now, my favorite one he did was The Hobbit.
Yes.
Right, I can remember. Right, 'cause remember, Brian Blessed has no fucking chill with his voice.
He has zero chill whatsoever.
And he couldn't run the portion on the dwarf talking, and like, and the dwarf said, like, what the fuck?
That's
I'm awake now.
You know the line in the like the 4th Harry Potter like book, like
Yeah.
in Goblet of Fire, where it's like, Harry Potter, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Dumbledore said Camley.
Yeah.
I want Brian Blessed to scream that. Just, Harry Potter, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
No, you haven't got right.
Dumbledore said Camley.
No, we haven't
With
got right.
no camel
In case,
whatsoever.
more case of this one. Harry Potter, god damn you!
Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Tell me now,
Dumbledore said
boy!
Camley.
See, I was so like, for Dumbledore, I think Brian Blessed would have made a brilliant Dumbledore.
No, he would have been a better Hagrid. You're right. He would have been a better Hagrid.
How good a Dumbledore?
Brian Blessed as Hagrid would have been that instantly. That would have won the Oscar. Like Harry Potter would have claimed the Oscar if they got Brian Blessed to play Hagrid.
Oh yeah. I should not have said that. I should not have fucking said that.
No, even better. Even better. Brian Blessed is Snape. Just, you dare to use my own spells against me, Potter! You bastard!
No, I'll tell you an even better one.
Dude, someone please, somewhere, get like a bunch of British celebrities together and do an R-rated version of fucking Harry Potter, but everyone is just played by Brian Blessed. Fuck it!
No, I'll tell you even better as. Right? Ron Weasley's dad.
No, at this point, fuck it. Like, just, everyone is Brian Blessed. Fuck it. Someone somewhere get Brian Blessed and just get him to like redo Harry Potter R-rated, but everyone is voiced by fucking Brian Blessed. I would pay so much money. I would pay infinite money to watch that. It's a license to print money.
Hang on.
Dude,
Dobby gets a book. He opens the pages. And among the pages, he sees a sock. Master has given me a sock.
Damn, Master has given Dobby a sock. Dobby is free.
Master, not harm Harry Potter. This is a scream attack.
Whoa, you lady bastard. Whoa, he just flies backwards. Okay.
When we magic says so, and Dobby screams at the top of his lung, die!
That's like, yeah, right. Literally, there's no magic anywhere. Brian Blessed just goes around punching people.
Punching and screaming at people.
Yeah, there is no magic. They just use CGI so Brian Blessed can punch Brian Blessed in the head. Instead of like magical fight scenes, it's just Brian Blessed based boxing matches for all the fight scenes. Fuck it. What could go wrong? Fuck it.
Brian Blessed looks like Skywalker. It's not the Force. He just screams loudly and just shocks everyone backwards.
He doesn't use the Force. He doesn't even use the lightsaber. He just punches Darth Vader clean in the fucking jaw. I'd watch a version of Star Wars where Brian Blessed is Luke Skywalker and he just left hooks Jar Jar Binks every third scene.
Yeah, he doesn't have lightsabers. He's got a lightsaber gauntlet. Just randomly punch people with.
It's not even a lightsaber gauntlet. It's just a normal ass glove. He's just wearing a leather like farming glove and he just left hooks people.
Come on!
Just force punch and then just left hooks a stormtrooper's head into next week. Fuck it. I'd pay so much money to watch that. Someone find Brian Blessed and pitch him this entire segment as ideas. Someone talk Brian Blessed into doing these. I would give you all of my money.
The droid's in shooting away and just bouncing up his beard.
I wonder if I can find Brian Blessed's email address. I wonder if I can get in touch with Brian Blessed and talk him into doing these.
Fast with content Brian Blessed would contact Everett's climbing community.
You're not wrong.
But I think he's doing it again this year at 85. He's climbing
He
again.
is, yeah. Do you know what would be even quicker? See if we just find out roughly where Brian Blessed lives and just walk around for a while and just listen for like nondescript screaming.
I believe
just type noises. I'll probably track him down.
I believe he's actually again not far in the northeast. I think he's either in Bishop Auckland or he's just south of Durham.
As he definitely doesn't live in Bishop Auckland because I have a cousin that lives there who loves Brian Blessed, so I would have been informed of this by now. Because said cousin would have tracked him down, and his Facebook would be nothing but pictures of him and Brian Blessed at the local pub getting peshed.
I think I did hear he moved to Scotland recently.
That would make sense. He could hide very well in Scotland. He blends in up there. He's loud and ginger. He'll blend in.
Anyway, right, so we play this video now.
Yes, let's. Sorry, we got sidetracked like a mother. It's been like an hour. I genuinely, I honestly assumed we'd watched the video already. And
No.
This is the end card of that video.
No,
That's
the
how
of it.
fucking distracted we
I only
got.
played 2 seconds of this video.
Sorry.
There's Echo trying to make a stupid joke about freaking.
And we somehow got onto Liz Truss and fucking Blue Peter, and it was all downhill from there.
Here we go.
Oh, what is this show?
Are not appropriate for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Additionally, I want to be very clear: this video does not condone, support, or provide platform for
Pedophilia in any capacity. In any capacity, my stance is firm. This terminology is dangerous and attempts to soften societal condemnation of such tendencies must be rejected outright. If you're a survivor or find this topic triggering, please prioritize your well-being. Resources for support will be linked in the description below.
So,
Next.
shout out to Dust of the Rose.
Shout out to you. No, never mind. No,
Yeah.
Shut up.
Like week
Check
sting
power,
operation
check
led to
power.
a paraprofessional being caught for inappropriate interactions with a minor.
A minor basketball coach behind bars arrested on human trafficking charges in Blount County.
A suspected child predator runs from police. Undercover sting operation in Florida nabbed 20 men allegedly planning to meet up with children. The coach, an elementary school teacher, was placed in handcuffs as part of a larger sting operation.
Society draws a clear line. There are behaviors that we reject for a reason, and this is why, to some degree, we need shame. But now, there's an attempt to blur.
I think this young lady's trying to be a chiropractor.
Huh?
I think she's trying to be a chiropractor.
I thought she just finds spines interesting.
Which is more concerning another green thing, isn't it?
Well, like the spine's a cool bone.
Or that one.
Okay, it's a
But if you
cool
guys don't know
collection
what
of
I'm
bones.
talking about. We're talking about the term minor attracted persons, or MAPS. Now, this term has started creeping up into academic circles, social media, even therapy discussions. At first, it sounds clinical, just merely a neutral term.
It's really crazy to me that people still don't grasp that using the term MAP instead of is promoting and normalizing schmetophilia.
But here's the thing. We've got to realize what's actually happening. This isn't just about language.
You got a new word now, have you?
I was not fucking ready for someone to take the fucking joke censoring of the word penis and apply it to the word pedophile. Like to my brain, it took me a minute to translate what she said because initially my brain went a penis file, and then it clicked of like, oh, she was doing the same censoring joke but for fucking pedophile. Oh, that's why it fucking hit me so hard because it took me so long to get the joke. It fucking just. It's a penis file. It's a schmear file. Someone make me a t-shirt that says, "Dear God, it's a schmear file." In Comic Sans. Just really make it shit. Make it in Comic Sans.
It's Smeeg.
Yes, dear God, a Schmiega file, and then just a picture of Snarf from Thundercats in the middle.
I was just sending something on Discord.
Yes, dear God, it's a Schmiega file. Snarf.
I was sending this to Echo, by the way.
Snarf from Thundercats. What have you sent me? Please tell me it's not perfect. Yeah, you send that to me.
I have done already.
Oh man, sorry. I get that. It took me so off guard. I was so not ready for Schmiega file.
Yeah, Echo's posted that power went out, and he will keep us posted.
Oh, that. Send me. Where did he put that? Sorry.
He sent it to me directly in DMs.
I just DM'd you. Okay.
So by time next week when we come back to the show, we're probably going to report that the furry has landed on the Yellow Brick Road. He's shagged a Tin Man, got shafted by a Straw Man, and then brutalized a poor lion.
Now what it'll be is just we'll start seeing news reports tomorrow of just bright blue fucking Bigfoot turns up in Yosemite National Park.
The video.
Language or semantics, as some might say. This is about normalization. The idea behind using maps instead of is simple. At least that's what advocates say. They claim that it reduces stigma and thereby it makes it easier for non-offending to seek help.
My research study ended up including interviews with 42 minor attracted people. I asked participants about their experiences with coming to terms with their identity and coping with the stigma that they faced, as well as about how they've strategized not to commit offenses. As I'm interested in offense prevention, it would have relevance to other MAPs who might be struggling with some kind of temptation to act on their attractions. Reasons for asking about my participants' understandings about their identity and their experiences informing it just back.
Yes, I like tits, but I don't need to create a whole new system around not grabbing them.
I mean, yeah, you just don't grab them. It's not fucking difficult.
Yeah, it's impulse control. It's like, titties. No,
yeah,
no.
It's impulse control, and there's a wonderful concept called consent.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not a complicated system. You just kind of keep your fucking hands to yourself unless, you know, they say you're allowed to touch them.
No matter how much I want to grab titties.
Which obviously...
You know?
Yeah.
I've got a thing called will, which like, stops you from grabbing titties at random.
Yes, you know, free will, you know, like that thing that prevents you from just robbing banks.
Yeah, it's it. I've got to push money. But I'm not robbing banks every Thursday night because I can do.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I think we've all considered it once, at least once, but no, we don't do it because it's kind of turbo illegal and financially not worth it.
Like I say, unfortunately, like, all the banks around my area don't hold enough cash in the bank to be worth damn well robbing them.
Yeah, and even if you did, financially it still doesn't work out because you'd be lucky to break the minimum wage bracket for the 10-year mark from a single bank robbery.
Yeah. But the American bank will hold like 3 million quid in their vault for some stupid reason.
Bit of a flex, isn't it? That's why.
Our banks have 50p in a Freddo.
Now, as we all know, if you're going to do a robbery, casinos are the best ones to do.
Yeah, because they don't give a shit.
Yeah. They don't give a shit. They've got decent fucking insurance, you know. Yeah, you're probably going to piss off a mob or two, but you're going to break your minimum wage bracket, so, you know.
Yeah, that's another tip. Rob Vegas. Right, don't do the Indian casinos because they will scam you.
No, don't fucking rob me. Fucking don't rob me. I'm poor. Don't rob me.
I mean, okay, Las Vegas.
There you go, Las Vegas.
Don't hit the Indian ones because they will scalp your ass.
Yeah, if they find you, you're fucked.
You know.
If you do the ones in Vegas, most of them are owned by the Yakuza and the mob. So yeah, you're dead either way, actually, yeah.
Yeah, but it's with payday.
Yeah, but also, like, if you make the mistake of robbing a Yakuza-controlled one, you're losing your dick and your ballsack. Now, I don't care how much money you give me, that ain't a fair trade.
Well, it's free transition surgery, though.
No, because you just lop it off the katana. They don't, like, do anything fancy to it.
So, no, because it's a story from back in the early 90s. It's a true one. It's completely funny. Is a Yakuza group had 3 young lads who just started out in the group, managed to lose 30 million in cash.
Yes.
So as a punishment, right, the Yakuza forced them into a sex change.
Yes.
Right, and turned them into an idol group to make the money back.
They did, yes. And unironically, it became a very successful idol group.
They did. There was a shooting thing about it to the point where I think
it turned out unironically they were kind of talented singers.
Yeah, and I think the group eventually went a bit legit because like off the back of like, well, we're making money hand over fist with this idol group. What the fuck are we doing? Creating crimes?
Yeah, it's like turns out being a music producer as a piece of piss and makes more money than the crimes we're doing.
Yeah,
let's just do that more. Fuck it.
I think it wouldn't let what they supposed one of the early idol groups. To the point where they didn't like force anyone transition anymore. They just like found random girls on the street and done them instead.
Yeah.
Still,
I don't remember the name of that group off the top of my head. Yeah, the pop idol group. It happened to.
I can't remember. I can remember it got big for a good 10 years.
Yeah, they were like really popular for a while because again, they were actually really good.
And we didn't find out they were transitioned until like I think it was after they finished their run and they retired. And they retired. And when they retired, they got a fair payout off the Yakuza for like, you know, well, you made her 20 times the money back. So he's a cut.
At some point, I will Google it and I'll update everyone because I'm kind of curious now. Yeah, let me write it down on my to-do list of shit to Google. Hang on, fucking
yeah. It's one of those like very bizarre stories that it sounds impossible to happen, but did actually happen.
Yakuza forced transition surgery idol grip. Full stop. There we go. That's been added to my list of shit I'll Google later.
I have
a lot of notes.
I think currently one of the biggest idol groups is a cross-dressing one.
I don't keep up with like pop idol groups and shit anymore.
I don't usually know the idols are not like into that side of fan culture, but I do couldn't get flashes of like news flash comes across when I go through me like other stuff I got.
Was it called like BTS? Those guys were like really big like 2 years ago.
What, the CD one?
No, I think it was like the J-pop or K-pop or something. It was like fucking like 9 Japanese guys that are like vaguely attractive and goth.
That was that's a Korean idol group.
Yeah, I would say it's like BTS or something. I remember when they were big fairly recently because like they were just everywhere on the internet, but like
yeah, they're also
I couldn't tell you a single fucking song they did.
And they're completely retarded as well.
I don't pay enough attention to agree or disagree with you.
No, they did some interviews with them live, and like even for like a brain dead pop star, you know, these guys made like KSI look intelligent.
Dude, they're still probably smarter than Joey Essex though.
I mean, Joey Essex I think had about 1 2 IQ points higher than these guys.
No. You literally cannot be stupider than a man that asked the question, are stick bugs made of wood?
Yeah, true.
Like, no, you fucking idiot. They're called stick bugs because they look like sticks! And they live in trees! On sticks!
I used to own stick insects.
Yeah, so you understand why it's so stupid to ask.
Yeah.
A stick insect's made out of wood.
My mum bought me a pair of them. I think I was 10. Right? And she didn't realise what she bought because I thought they were cool. And they were fucking cool.
Oh yeah, they're really cool animals.
Unfortunately, she managed to get me a breeding pair.
Oh, goody.
And she didn't realise that. And what about stick insects is they breed bats.
Yes, they're like rabbits. They will make lots of babies if you keep them together.
Yes. So by the time I finished with the first year, I had like about 30 fucking things.
Hell yeah.
Background information.
Get stick bugged. Get stick bugged, motherfucker.
Probably those chicken insects, they are really actually cool creatures when you see the variety of the bats and things.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, you know what? Hang on.
Oh god, what?
Hang on. Get stick bugged, bitch. Get stick bugged.
What the fuck you sent me?
Get stick bugged. Get stick bugged, bro. Get stick bugged.
Yeah, nice Rickroll, but not very good one.
Oh, is that the Rickroll variant?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch. I thought it was the original where it's just get stick bugged.
No,
son of a bitch.
It turns into Rickroll after it.
Oh, god damn it. I keep accidentally sending the ones that are Rickrolls, just trying to send a normal ass stick bug to people.
Back to the video.
As I attended workshops and met MAPS in person and through interviews, I heard about these experiences and how scared MAPS often were when they realized that they had this attraction that's pretty universally maligned. Although I'm not a MAP myself, I'm queer, and so I too have been through...
We couldn't tell.
I mean, you say that, but like... You say that, but also, like... I mean, like, no.
No.
Like, yeah, you can tell they're not straight, but you can't tell they're queer. I mean, okay, by your generation's definition of the word queer, yeah, but like, by what queer actually fucking means in the community, no, you can't tell. They're just vaguely homosexual.
Experiences and realizing that I have attractions many people wouldn't understand.
They argue that this is merely a type of condition, but not really a moral failing. What? And that extreme social shame might actually just drive people underground and increase the criminal acts that are committed because of this. But here's a little problem. The origins of this term aren't innocent. And the consequences, let's be clear, they're catastrophic. That's what we're discussing today, because when we start losing shame as a society, this is when things get dangerous. Welcome back to Your Dose of Rose. Let's jump right in. So let's talk about where this term really came from. The phrase MAPS, or minor attracted person, didn't emerge from psychological research. Instead, it originated from pro-pedophilic advocacy groups. In 2011, an organization known as the Before You Act organization, which is a group with documented ties to softening the laws around pedophilia, held a symposium urging psychologists to adopt the terminology MAPS rather than using the term. What was their argument? That these people are an oppressed minority and that they deserve to be redefined in less stigmatizing ways. Oppressed minority.
No, it's a bookshop.
Okay, if that sounds familiar, it's because that's the same line that was used by legitimate civil rights movements. But here's the difference. One fights for consensual...
No, I don't think it's effective. I think 308 would be more effective.
I'm not mad enough to threaten to kill a pedophile yet.
Not mad, it doesn't exist at this point.
It's just no one said anything out of line yet, realistically. At least to me.
I mean, she's...
insinuated some out of line shit, but...
I mean, I can tell she's generally against it.
Yeah.
And that's so... I'm pretty sure it's going to pull some, like, shit, like, bullshit in a minute.
Relationships between adults, and the other is seeking to mesh the waters of what CSA actually is. But here is where it gets even more disturbing. Within the 2011 symposium discussions, participants framed pedophilia as being unfairly labeled. The term vice-laden, they stated, suggests that society's moral judgment of was the problem, but not the attraction itself. Like, are you kidding me? By removing the association with moral failing, they argued, we could have a more rational discussion. But here's the thing, what is the real goal here? To change the way that we think about this, to strip away the disgust and the inherent social rejection of this idea. Because when you change how people think, you change what they tolerate. And this is the path to normalization. First, you claim that the language is too harsh. Then you claim that the moral rejection is unfair. And before you know it, society isn't pushing back as hard.
I do not think that we should have a sex offender registry.
Stop calling them that. You're not allowed to label people like that.
Yes, we fucking should.
Yeah,
we should have sex offender registry.
Sex offenders register is kind of important.
Along with Sarah's law and stuff like similar ilk.
Yes. No, it's very important shit.
Oh, I remember this. We covered this teacher last time.
We did, yes. The teacher that was like fucking telling a student off for calling a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, bitch, but if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck and it quacks like a fucking duck, it's a goddamn duck.
Yes.
Don't try and piss in my fucking Cheerios and gaslight me into calling the duck a fucking a goose. It walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it eats fucking bread. That's a duck, motherfucker.
What? Stop it, Diego. We're not going to call them that. We're going to call them MAPS.
And like, I'm sorry, but here...
No, we're not.
We're going to call them fucking pedophiles.
Critics of society.
Or if you're really against the word pedophile, I have to tell, I'll meet you in the middle, Teach. How about I call them a tiddly widdly? How about I call them a kiddly widdly tiddly fiddly? How about that, Teach? Is that better for you? Would you prefer I called them a kiddly widdly tiddly fiddly? No? Then I'll keep calling them fucking pedophiles. Shut the fuck up.
Or call my favourite word, a corpse.
No.
Yeah, corpses have dignity.
Yeah. It's also just like fucking. I don't know. Like, yeah, I hate pedophiles too, but I was like, there's enough death going around at the minute, you know. Yeah, enough cunts are being killed for no damn good reason, you know. Like fucking, you know, why waste the time? Just like, even though they deserve it, why fucking waste the time? Like, we got bigger priorities to burn right now as a species.
I'm not sure what I could do with it. Instead of like, killing myself, I'll just ship them to Gaza or Iran at the moment.
Or again, we just forcefully conscript them. You know, that's what I'd do. Just, you know, you're a pedophile, fine, join the army. You go into the army and you're gonna put on the front line. You know, and just if you survive, cool. You survive, cool. You go into prison. You don't, you die. You've just problem solved. Then just you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. Fixes their problem, fixes the international problems, all in one fucking go.
And don't worry, you're gonna get the latest equipment coming out of the factories.
Yeah, the untested shit that we need someone to test out for us.
These are the latest prototypes of our new battle arm.
It might work, it might not work. Either way.
You're sacrificing
You know, get them to test out the new guns. Yeah, you know, make them use the new weaponry that might jam or explode for no fucking reason. Multiple jobs in one go. Like,
yeah. Now, we'll test a new tank armor, just so stand inside the tank as we shoot a HT round at it and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, like, in all seriousness, though, like, the reason I'm just not vibing with the fucking kill the pedophile jokes is, like you said earlier, it's a slippery fucking slope.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, like, cause as much as I hate to fucking say it, the pedophiles kind of have a point. They're not correct, but they make an argument that unfortunately many people take as valid. You know, of like fucking, you know, we were born this way, we can't control who we're attracted to. You know, and like the woman in the video said, it's like, yeah, actual people used that before. You know, like the gay community, the trans community, like we'd use that same line. And it's like, we start killing one group who use that term and phrase, it's a real slippery slope to like actually good fucking people getting killed over it. You know, and it's like, I just don't want to see the world go back to a place where being anything other than heterosexual is a fucking problem. You know, and we're hurtling towards that at record speed. You know, and it hurts. It hurts my goddamn soul.
Right,
and I can't even blame the pedophiles for it either.
Right. The only thing I really can say at the moment, right, is in general theory, MAPS have not committed any criminal offences.
Yeah, so on their own, just being attracted to kids isn't a crime. It's when they actually act on those, you know, attraction, which fortunately a lot of them fucking do.
Yeah, to other credits is they have not acted out on these impulses or urges. My problem comes to the point is where they also say in the next breath is, but yes, we also cannot control our urges.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I get the, unlike the gay argument and stuff like that, you know, I don't care if you accept that, that's what you do. It's when you look, I would say, well, I see a child walking past, and my urges are to grab that child, take them in my room, and do things to them, and I find myself I can't control my urges to do so.
Which I mean, like, in fairness, I think to an extent, like, everyone has that, just like with their preferred sexual partner of like I think like every lad's had it at least once, where like, you know, you're walking down the road and a real attractive woman goes by and you go, I could think of a few things I could do to her. I could see if I got her to come home with me tonight. Fucking hell, you play it in your mind a little bit and then you move on with your day. You know, I think that's more what they're talking about. But
no, they're not. They're also talking about saying, well, we do part of what we're doing as MAPS is have special class in order to control our urges and impulses. Again, I thought it was like actually the fit last thing. Oh yeah, what things I would do to her if I get the chance. I've never had to sit there and go and, you know, go through a meditative breathing cycle to stop myself from running up and grabbing the woman.
Yeah, never had to go to therapy because that woman's arse was a bit big. You know, like
saying, I was 2 seconds away from doing something. You know, I've never had that issue.
Yeah,
and from every map I've like seen interviews of, the research they keep saying about, and the therapy, is they regularly have these problems of I'm literally 2 seconds away from just grabbing that child who's next door to me in the elevator, or that Susan that lives next door to me. You know, if he walks past again in that yellow top again, oh god.
I still remember that fucking advert of the guy fucking sweating bullets in the elevator, and then it reveals there's like a 4-year-old stood next to him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a shit advert.
You know, and that was a pro fucking map advert.
It was, yeah. It was a really fucking shit advert.
You know, again, it's one of those things is, yeah, I understand they haven't committed any crimes. But by by what they say in their own logic is it's only a matter of time before they do it.
Yeah, like they're a public fucking threat.
Yeah. They're one step away from committing horrendous crimes to children. And that's by their own fucking admission.
Yeah.
They do this. And one of the therapy things they have is what they call taking non-sexual pictures of children in public parks.
Yeah, which
no, fuck no.
Like, I'll be honest, if I was a parent and I saw anyone taking photos of my fucking kids, I'd drop kick him in the fucking jaw. Like, you'd have to put me in jail, because I'd fucking brutalize the guy. I don't care if he's a paid photographer or not. Right? I fucking see a guy with a fucking camera taking photos of my wings, I'm breaking his goddamn jaw.
Now, the excuse they've used is they're non-sexualized pictures of children. There's no picture of normal going around. The problem is, though, you're taking those pictures to satisfy a sexual urge.
Yeah, like you're using them for a sexual reason, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah. That inherently then makes me, for me, and as I say, if I was a lawyer or a police officer, the more you said that makes it right. Yeah. That's now child pornography, because as far as you're concerned, you're getting off on that picture.
Exactly. You know, maybe like kind of self-report a little bit here, but like I think we can all agree, lads, right? Lads, you're with me here, right, lads? Right? Not right. Look at me. Look at me in my fucking eyes, gentlemen listening, right? None of you are allowed to back out on me here, right? None of you are allowed to leave me just fucking standing in the dark here, all right? You're with me when I say this, motherfuckers. We've all had some shameful wanks to some photographs that weren't that sexy, okay? We've all had a wank to a photo of just a woman wearing jeans and a t-shirt, nothing sexual going on because she's got nice tits. We've all been there. We've all done it, all right? None of you are allowed to just leave me in the dark here. We've all done it, and don't you dare lie to me. You can lie to your partners. You can't lie to me. I know you, man. All right? We've all done it, right? We still hide that photograph and count it as our pornography collection, don't we, gentlemen? Right? It still counts.
I can remember when, like, all my friends used to go on about when Sky first came on the National Geographic Channel. Popped up these documentaries of the African tribes.
Yeah, they got their babs out. It's not porn, but titties. Like, fuck yeah. Like, we've all been there. We've all had some fucking shameful wanks. We've all, like, every man out there that is attracted to women has considered touching themselves to the recordings of Hanoi Hannah.
Nope.
Hanoi Hannah.
Nope.
You know the radio presenter from Vietnam, the Hello G.I. Joe woman?
Oh, that one.
Yeah, like every guy that's attracted to women has considered touching themselves to those voice clips. Yes, they're not sexy and sultry, but they sound real sultry. They ain't trying to be, but they do. Right? You'd still, if you wanked to that, you would still count that as watching porn.
Yes, we would. Because again, you get sexual gratification from the sound of the image.
Exactly.
Which is the definition of porn is, I think the actual definition of porn at the moment is any image, media, or item.
Any piece of media that gives sexual gratification.
Yeah. So by the definition of that, you taking a picture of that who went in the park counts. I'm sorry.
It does, yes, by the legal definitions of the terminology of pornography. The reason that like items don't count is because a dildo isn't a pornographic item. It's a sexual assistance device.
Yeah, sexual aid, I think it's called nowadays.
Yes, and I believe the official term now is sexual aid. I'm working off like early 2000s words there, but still, it's because it used to be a sexual assistance device.
Now just a sexual aid. It's now classed as marital aid.
Is that marital aid is now the proper term? I believe that's only in America they use marital aid.
No, these over here because there's a big push even over here of like using couples going through like a dry spell to use sex toys in the bedroom.
I mean, even then, like, because I've been to some sex shops and like they don't mark them as marriage age. They mark them as like sexual aids. Because it's like you don't have to be married to use a dildo. But frankly, if you're married, you don't need a dildo, realistically speaking. You already got a husband, or a wife, if you prefer. No, either way,
anyway,
probably don't need a dildo.
Anyway, we may not probably get back to the... Yeah, I know
Yeah.
sometimes like say the domestic violence stuff can be... Especially for those who have a habit of linking the two things together with the LGQ and the twats together. Which is not a link that should ever be formed.
It really shouldn't. Because again, like we've worked so hard as a community. Because like, it's why I get so pissed off when it comes to like the trans rights stuff. Like especially like the right wingers that are against like trans rights. Because so many of the fucking arguments people make against transgender people were made against homosexuals back in the day.
Yeah.
And I hate it. You know, it's like, oh, they're trying to indoctrinate the children and they're grooming the kids and, you know, they're all just a bunch of sexual perverts and they're going to touch the children. Fucking shut the fuck up, piece of shit.
I will say one thing with the trans stuff and children. I found during my research, and I've always said this, it's less the trans community doing it and more the fucking parents.
Yes, there are, and like let's not get it twisted either. Yes, there are some individuals in the or who were in the community who were doing some dodgy shit towards children. Those people were caught, and anytime it looks like it's going to happen again, it gets investigated, and they get fucking caught at it every fucking time, and it is dealt with, and they are, fucking kicked out of the goddamn community. Because that is not what the LGBTQ is about. Whether it's gay, trans, or whatever, we do not fucking tolerate fucking kids.
Like I say, with the... Not just fucking kids, this one is... Like, forcing transitioning on children. I generally find it's more of the woman who breaches into the fourth with feminism and finds the idea of having a trans child or gay child trendy.
Yeah.
Which
I've seen it before as well, you know, like...
Which has come up a major issue in the past, 10 years, I would say.
Yeah. But at the same time as well, like from my perspective, it's like as someone who's worked with fucking kids, like because of it, there's so many kids I've worked with that are like quite young, right? To like where like a lot of people say, oh, they're too young to decide if they're trans or not. Which again, y'all said that about the gays, and look how that went. You know, like we're like straight out, they're transgender, and it was their fucking decision. It's not the parents are forcing it on them. You know, it's not even like, oh, TikTok indoctrinated the child to fucking kill yourself. You know, it's like just the kid isn't fucking comfortable with who they are in terms of their gender. You know, and you know, like when you're a youth worker, you can fucking figure it out because you get trained to ask certain fucking questions of the children and fucking piece it together. You know, and it's like, you know, like if I took this kid in front of Joe Rogan, you know, their parents are gonna get accused of some shit, and that's just not fucking fair. You know, this little dude just wants to fucking vibe. You know, leave them.
I'm not saying all of them is. The majority ones you see, especially those on like TikTok or on the YouTube platform, say this is my trans child, that type of thing.
Yeah, listen, there's always people out there that are doing it wrong, and you know, you get the wrong ends here and there. But my point is, it's unfair to paint the entire fucking community with the same brush of, oh, well, you're all doing it. No, we don't like those assholes. We agree. Those guys are dickheads. That doesn't mean you get to bully the rest of us. Fucking, I hate it so fucking much. It bugs me so much.
I mean, the gay pedophile thing, I think, they started about it was about 1930s because we watched those early commercials.
Yeah.
On it. It's about 1930s when that they took root as a concrete phrase.
Yeah. Still, it's just, it pisses me off so much. Like you know, you want to be like a piece of shit? Go for it. Be a piece of shit. At least be fucking creative. At least be original. You know, like, why have we got to use the same fucking accusational points against everyone every fucking time? It's like, oh, gay people, oh, they're just trying to indoctrinate kids. They're just secretly pedophiles. Proven wrong. Transgender people, oh, they just want to fuck kids. They're secretly pedophiles. Proven wrong. Oh, asexuals, oh, they just haven't had good dick yet. Proven wrong. Lesbians, oh, they just haven't had good dick yet. Proven wrong. Like, if you want to be a piece of shit, be fucking creative about it. Like, at least come up with a unique accusation to the people you're going to be a dick to. For fuck's sake. I hate it. I hate it so much, that Manty.
I tell you one of the ones I remember always hating, especially when I was at school. It was, if I just met me in the bedroom, I'll shout the lesbian right out of her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
my
exactly.
general feeling was, she's probably lesbian because she met someone like you in the first place.
Oh, no, the one I always went with, I always hit people with when they said that shit around me was, mate, if 2 inches was the cure to being a lesbian, there wouldn't be any lesbians left. Every single time, the guy would just fold the fucking half, just dead on the floor, because I've just ended his career.
Yeah.
I don't mean folding half like he's laughing. It's like, no, he's died of cringe because he realizes how fucking stupid he is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, fucking, don't hand me ammunition, then complain when I shoot you in the head. Like, you don't get to punch my people, then hand me the shotgun and expect me not to kill you. You're an idiot. You idiot. You silly.
Now, I would admit, Lightning, when I first started having looking at the trans stuff, most of I found was more on the right side of things.
Yeah, it is. Because again, like, the transgender community is still relatively new.
Yeah.
So a lot of the fucking information you get is just the right wing just calling them pieces of shit. And I hate it.
I say that was most media I got, which did somewhat color my view slightly of things. Again, that's the information I have. I have to work with. I say we've talked to other people and they're looking around. There's still some things I agree with the right side on, especially like around like the trans and female sports. I still don't agree with.
Yeah.
And there's
that one I'll give you.
And there's a few studies out there which I'll be quite I know there's new ones coming out ready to start to come out. There are a few ones around the suicide rates, that type of stuff.
Yes.
Which is concerning to me about it. And again, I've seen no data that really contradict the information that came out. And again, that was done by an independent.
What's that? The suicide rate is really high in this group of marginalized people that get bullied on a daily basis, oftentimes by their own government. Gee, how strange.
Yeah, I'll give you that one, but again, it's one of those ones that's even amongst similar groups of being systematically oppressed against by a government, the suicide rate amongst trans is extremely high, at nearly 49%.
Mm-hmm.
Even one comparison, which people say it's a wrong comparison, but I think it's an okay one, is the suicide rate amongst black slaves at the time was nowhere near that high.
Yeah, that's because the black slaves didn't realistically get a lot of access to shit they could kill themselves with. Let's be fair now.
Even
if you weren't working the field, you weren't getting a knife.
Even the idea of suicidal inclinations wasn't that high. Now, a lot of people complain that, saying, well, that's because they were less educated at the time. They were, which again, thinks a racial thing in the first place.
It's more of an issue of mental health itself wasn't very well studied, and there was a much larger stigma on mental health difficulties back then. So yeah, they weren't going to admit to it.
Now I do know the new study from I was about to say Swindon there for some stupid reason.
Sweden, do you mean?
Sweden, yes.
There you go.
New Swiss study is coming out. I believe it's next year. It's coming out. Because I think they finished the data gathering section this year, and we'll take next year to compile and write the
collate, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Now that one I'm more interested in reading because that's more. Whereas the first one I read was I think it was a 20-year study. This is supposed to be a 30 to 40-year study.
I mean, the Swedish one in general, I'm more interested in because Sweden in general just has a really low suicide rate and really high mental health awareness rates.
Yeah,
out there, they're literally always voted one of the happiest countries on planet Earth.
And what this one more interesting this one's done is they've done the trans community itself. They've also done a side-by-side comparison between the trans, gays, lesbians, straight men, straight females.
Yeah.
I know that as a full comparison with same equal numbers of each group. I think it's about 4,000 per group. They've done that. And they've correlated those over long term of how the mental health has gone up and down and what causes have had for mental health problems and all that type of stuff. And that's the data I'm more interested in seeing across the board. Is it just...
I mean, I'm willing to wager the rates will be lower across the board out there, but that's because Sweden actually has, human rights and cares about its population versus other countries. But I think the general trend might be similar of still kind of higher in the trans community, but I still argue it's going to be a lot lower in Sweden just because, the Swedish government don't constantly try and, take away trans people's rights all the fucking time, or just like treat them like they deserve to be fucking killed for no goddamn reason.
Figure generally for the suicide rates was 1.5. It's about 49% before transitioning.
Yeah,
and after transitioning, it's about the same. I think it's about 47%.
And it's about that, yeah.
Which, I usually say that transition surgery has no effect on the mental health of the trans person because suicide rate is still high before and after surgery.
Yeah.
Type thing. Which, what the study showed, it's true, it was. Problem is, again, it's only give the context of a trans person without putting any extra facts around like the other communities around it. And like environmental factors, which is what this new study is adding to it. So like work stress, that type of stuff that been added to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't have like a scientific data set to work off of for it, but also like in my personal experience, in my private life, like I've got a good handful of like transgender friends and family members, and like I have like the three like trans people I fairly regularly talk to. All three of them have, to an extent, mental health problems. And one of them is because they have a very heavy genetic disposition towards mental health difficulties.
Yeah.
It's like... But at the same time, all of them live in countries where trans people get treated like shit.
Now, one thing I will still agree with myself is... I think gender dysphoria, which is like root cause, that's the wrong way of saying it, but...
Yeah, it's like, root cause is, it's the correct word. Like, it's...
Of like transitioning and that sort of stuff, I've always agreed is a mental health and medical condition.
Yes, gender dysphoria is recognized, even in the community, it's recognized as it's a mental health disorder.
Now, the treatment for that is like a transitioning surgery, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the treatment for it, which is fair, I always say it's fair enough, that's the treatment for it, use the treatment protocol.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the argument of the right side of that generally is, well, they can grow out of it, especially like early dysphoria in children. They can grow out, which, true, they can.
Yes, but it's unlikely.
Well, no, again, for most studies I've seen, now again, I'm going to give these pictures up because, again, it's one of those ones where I can't guarantee where the source came from. It's come from like some left side, some right side. It's hard to tell like who really
who's doing what.
Who prescribed the study. Now, for most studies, most children exhibiting gender dysphoria symptoms between the ages of 5 and 10 will generally grow out of it by the age of 14. And then I think the percentage of that is around 71% of that.
Yes.
Which is why the British Medical Board has like the hard limit of when you can actually start transitioning like properly at about the age of 16.
Yeah.
Which again, I think is fair enough on that one.
Yeah, that was like in terms of getting the surgery done. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We'll put a limit on that. Like when it comes to like like puberty blockers or like hormone replacement, fucking let them go for it.
I'd say hormone replacement, yes. Puberty blockers, no. Because puberty blockers,
even with puberty blockers, I don't mind. Like, nah.
Problem with puberty blockers is they have. My problem with that is they have shown effects of being used long term have a massive damage to a child's development body.
Yeah, but also at the same time, Fat Man T, in this country, breathing the fucking air in certain cities has a long-term fucking health, like, negative.
Yes, it does. It does, yes.
Like, stepping foot into London is a health hazard at this point because of the amount of fucking pollution in the air.
I mean, that's one of my favorite studies was, like, for vaping. Was, like, the vaping is 95% safer than smoking. And someone else will give the comparison against, well, since smoking is like sucking a car exhaust, vaping is like walking around London for most of your life.
Yeah.
Not great, but it's not going to kill you either.
Yeah, exactly. And I also argue, like, cause this is an argument I've always had, like, when it comes to medical treatments, is like, if not treating the issue could lead to you fucking dying, but the treatment has a risk of fucking your body up, you take the goddamn treatment. That's always been my argument. Like my standpoint always has and always will be, at least for me personally, right? If my options are basically, like, let's say I get like a terminal illness, right? Let's say I get cancer in my left leg, okay?
Yeah.
I know, but I like cancerous tumor in my left leg, right? Here are my options, right? I leave it alone, and I'll die in 2 years' time, right? 2 years' time, I'm dead. gone, kills me. Or I can cut my leg off. Never have that leg again, right? And let's say I've got like an 80% chance of that killing me. Right? I've got an 80% chance I'm gonna die from cutting that leg off. Right? Let's say I've got some weird genetic thing that I've got some, like my liver lives in my leg or something, right? Got an 80% chance cutting the leg off is gonna kill me, right? 90% chance I'm like life's never gonna be the same again, right? I'm never gonna adapt to a prosthetic leg or whatever. You know, like fucking moving a wheelchair is gonna fuck me up, whatever the case may be, right? It's gonna be long-term negative effects to cutting off the leg. I'm taking the cut my fucking leg off route.
I get your point, but I understand the idea of using them. But for me to be comfortable about saying, yeah, it's a legitimate treatment, I would want some more, like, studies, information on the use of them and how it would affect, like, development of the child in a bit more of a long-term scenario than just, you know, oh, well, they stop puberty, here you go, have them.
Even then, I don't need it. You know, like...
I'm just saying that's for me personally, that's the... If someone said, can you endorse this right now, I'd say, well, I want some more info before I fully endorse this.
Like, all I'm saying, right, it's not going to make the kid fucking stupider, so it's fine. Like, I sincerely doubt, from my experiences with children, putting them on puberty blockers is going to make them stupid, because in my experience, you get stupider when you go through puberty anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kids pre-puberty, really fucking smart. Then they hit puberty and they become brain dead for a couple of years. You know, whereas like, we remember how to walk and talk and that's about fucking it. You know, and then they come out of like puberty around like 15, 16 and they're semi-intelligent again. But they're still not as smart as they used to be.
My dad called them the teenage grunt years.
Yeah, you know, and even then, they're still not as smart as they used to be. You know, they know smarter shit, but they're not as good at the basics as they used to be. You know, I will forever argue puberty does long-term damage to you anyway. You know, in terms of like, you know, being competent at life. I feel like if, like, realistically, just turning off the puberty, probably not going to have a worse effect. If anything, probably going to fucking, like, benefit a little bit versus do damage, I would argue. You know,
anyway,
but...
We've got to talk about it again.
I mean, yeah, still, it's because I went on a fucking rant because I'm mad.
I know.
I get very angry about these things, like, you know, especially when it comes to the trans community, because despite how much I'm willing to joke and laugh about transgender people, I fucking give a shit. I support the trans community a lot. Like, I really care about them. You know, I'm just willing to bully them a little bit at the same time, but that's because I care. You know, I hate it when fucking people just say shit. Like, no.
No, to me, if you can't make jokes about somebody, then you don't care about that person.
Exactly, like the way I've always seen it is like if I'm not allowed to make fun of that person, I'm singling that person out.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, when people are like, oh, you can't make jokes about people in wheelchairs. You're not in a wheelchair. Why? Like if I'm not making fun of the guy in the wheelchair, but I make fun of everyone else, I've singled that guy out.
Yeah.
You know, like all I'm saying to that guy in that wheelchair right there is, I don't feel comfortable making fun of you because I don't think you can handle being made fun of, which is worse than just making fun of him.
I mean, one of my favorite jokes about people in wheelchairs was this guy who was in a wheelchair, went on stage himself. He's like, oh, I had a friend who was also in a wheelchair. You know, and we decided to, you know, we really wanted to be vulnerable if we couldn't afford the robot. So what we done was wrap it in tinfoil, hand him a chainsaw, and set him in there.
Yeah.
He's dead now, but, you know, he went out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, that's kind of funny. Like, you know, but at the same time, you know, if an able-bodied guy had made that joke, he would have been slapped up the head by everyone. You know, and it's like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, it's a funny joke.
You know, let people have some fucking fun in this world. You know, like...
The comedy is one that is out there the only great equalizer we have.
Yeah.
Across the world.
No,
can jokes be more edgy than others? Damn well, yes, they can.
I know, easily, yeah.
But again, though, as I think it was Jimmy Carr said, you know, offense is not something I give, it's something you take.
Exactly.
If you choose to take offense at this, that's your problem, not mine.
I mean, the standpoint I've always taken as well is it's like, see if I'm making fun of something, like, let's say, right, I'm making fun of a guy in a wheelchair, right? If the guy in the wheelchair tells me to shut the fuck up and stop it, I'm going to shut the fuck up and I'm going to stop it, right? If someone else comes over unfucking prompted and unprovoked and tells me to shut the fuck up and stop it, A, I'm going to double down harder on the wheelchair guy, and B, I'm going to start bullying them too.
Yeah.
You know, like, you do not get to fucking stand up and be like, oh, you can't make fun of that guy because you, like, you know, you can't make fun of the guy in the wheelchair because you're not in a wheelchair. It's like, yeah, the clues in the pudding there, love. You stood up. You're not in a wheelchair either. Shut the fuck up.
At case in point, I was watching the whatever show, debate.
Yeah.
And they had, like, I left this guy on, and Andrew Wilson, which again, he's gonna be a dick at times.
Yeah.
Right, we're about to defend him, and they've got like a female runner for the show.
Yes.
Get things. And Andrew was making a joke, and he went against, "Hey woman, get me a beer." Right, as a joke, and the woman's laughing at it.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, you're the showrunner. Your job is to go like get things. You know, let's jib you a little bit. It's kind of funny. Fuck it.
Now the male feminist guy, he goes, "Well, do you want water?" Again, "You know what? I'll go and get myself." And he went off, get the water himself, and went back down again. And says, "Did you get that water yourself because of the joke Andrew made?" "Well, yeah, because I don't want to be associated with that kind of joke. It's harmful." And he goes, "She's laughing her fucking ass off."
Yeah.
You look like she's barely breathing because she's double pissing herself laughing. And you're sitting there trying to virtual signal by getting your water saying, "Oh yeah, I'll go and get it myself because I don't want to be associated with a joke."
Yeah, it's the context of the joke. The person it was making fun of found it funny. You know, like, you know, and even then, again, it's the context of the joke. I was like, you know, like, look, your job is, you know, like, fucking, you run around, you're like bringing shit to like two men.
Well, yeah,
like two men are paying you to bring them shit.
Because
like, historically, that was like, you wouldn't be bringing me paperwork. You'd be bringing me a fucking beer and a sandwich. That's the joke.
That was it. It was kind of the joke was the feminist guy was calling Andrew a misogynist because he hates all women and stuff. That
yeah,
it was one of those like jokes. Andrew's laughing it off anyway. And it's, you know, "Oh, you won't bring me a beer," as for like a snide to his comments.
Yeah, it's like, I hate women so much. Here, fucking Susan, bring me a Budweiser, you bitch. You know, like,
yeah. You know, it was a funny joke and a funny bit he did. You know, which is rare for Andrew to pull off, but he still did it. You know, the guy couldn't understand the point of the joke he was making.
Yeah, the point of the joke is, Leon, you're being a fucking idiot, and also this is kind of a funny contextual situation of two white men have got a woman bringing them shit.
Yeah.
Like, ha 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 ha. Let's do a history joke. How feminism marches forward here. You know, like it's called making fun of the situation you find yourself in.
And you also could get the fact that, like, she's paid to get stuff for the people on the show. That's their job, and you go and get your own water, and you just robbed her of doing her job.
Yeah, like, you've basically just circumnavigated the entire chain of command.
You know, it's like, you don't know. It's one of those things I find, especially with the male feminists particularly, have a habit of doing is, you know, how dare you make that joke against women? I can't make a joke against women? No, you can't. Well, fuck off then.
Yeah, it's like every woman in the room is pissing themselves laughing right now. Shut up. You know, like, the flip side is there are contexts where, like, what the guy did, you know, it is polite. You know, like if you're at, like, a restaurant, right? Like, you know, you're having a meal at a restaurant, you know, you finish your plates, whatever, and, you take the dishes up to, like, the, you know, like you're at, like, a cafe, you know, take, like, your empty cup or whatever, like, up to the little counter, you know, save the servers a little bit of an effort. That's just, you're being polite. That one's fair.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, they're paid to do it, but also, like, I don't want to be an asshole. Like, you know, it's a tough job. I'll be nice. I'll do it for them. You know, like, I'm as well. Like, I'm here. They're kind of busy. You know, like, that's one thing. You know, like, live interview and, like, just doing it because you took a huff at a joke that was made at someone's expense. And, go fuck yourself.
Probably what I try to find most of these people is the ones, like, the guy who, like, can't do the joke and when he gives them water. Are also the same cunts who sit there and click the fingers at servers.
Yeah, they usually are, yeah.
Which I hate more than anything on this planet is someone doing that to a server.
Oh, you know, I've slapped friends over that before.
You know, I've started to
I was in a restaurant. I was in a restaurant with a friend of mine who did that. Like we were like in the middle of a conversation and instinct, they like started clicking their fingers at the waiter. And I stood up and I slapped him across the fucking face.
Yeah.
Live in public. You know, like there's somewhere in Scotland there's CCTV footage of me bitch slapping my friend over it. You know, just being like, motherfucker, you're having dinner in a restaurant with a guy that works in a fucking restaurant. You should know better. Like, how many fucking horror stories have I told you, John, about my time working in restaurants, and you're gonna treat the staff at this restaurant like a piece of shit? How fucking dare you?
Yeah, because you're trying to is I'm trying to get the server's attention. No, you're trying to sing like a fucking dog.
Yeah, it's like, you can get their attention, do it fucking politely, you know? Now, I said something, you wait till they're, like, in general region, and you just, excuse me, miss, or excuse me, sir, whatever the case may be, you stick a hand up a little bit, and you verbally communicate. I would appreciate asking you a question quickly, if you have the time, please. Like going, excuse me, could I borrow you for a second? I have a question about the wine list, this Sauvignon Blanc says that it's a 72 variant, but I'm curious how a 72 could be so cheap, and they'll tell you, well, that's not a bottle, sir, that's just a glass of the wine. The bottle is on this page. Oh, yes, no, I see now. That's why it's £2 a bottle. I see, I'm just silly. No, you do it politely.
Yeah, there's many ways around it, but anyway, really get off topic now.
Yeah, sorry.
It's only for I'm doing as well.
Here are just a few of the things that the speakers said. The diagnosis of pedophilia does not necessarily apply to somebody who happens to be with someone under the age of consent. For example, a man who gets involved with his 13 or 14-year-old stepdaughter, who may look like she is 18 or 19.
It's fucking disgusting.
Correct.
Could be prosecuted for committing the crime of CSA, but he may not be doing that because there is something abnormal about his sexual conduct. Any man can find an attractive teenager to be appealing. That doesn't mean he's going to act but that's not outside of.
Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I've been in situations before, like bars and shit, where like a 16-year-old's coming. I'm going, oh fuck, they're kind of attractive. No, and it's like, oh wait, no, hang on, never mind. They're wearing a school uniform. They're 16. Shut the fuck up, brain. And it's like, they're immediately ruled out.
Yeah, you can see the attractive laugh come in. You're like, oh, check that. Oh yeah, underage. Yeah, no.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I had that as a bartender a few times, attractive, young person would come and be, fucking, how you doing? Like, can I get a pint of lager? And you got ID and you're 15. No, you can't get a pint of lager and get out of my bar.
Yeah.
It's like the thoughts of, they're kind of pretty gone. I might serve them, gone. No, dead in the water.
Yeah.
Gone, get out. Like, didn't even pull a fake ID on me, you fucking dickhead. Well played, get the fuck out. A for effort, B for execution. Get the fuck.
It's like St. Marcel's try to invent in games. And the excuse they come with is, well, it's historically accurate.
It's like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm playing a game like Crusader Kings 2, right? I'm playing like Crusader Kings 2. Yeah, okay. Right? Crusader Kings 2, yeah, okay. A 14-year-old marrying a 22-year-old, fine. Don't care. Because the game doesn't have any fucking pornographic scenes around that.
Yes.
Right? It is 2 buttons and it's a tactical decision, that historically happened, and I'm playing a historical simulation game. Fair to fuck enough, right? Don't care. Right? If I'm playing like fucking some kind of like fucking, I don't know, fucking those porno book games you get. What the fuck are they called?
Hentai?
No, like the interactive graphic novels for pornography. You know the things I'm on about?
Yes, I know about.
Yeah, fucking those piece of shit games. Like, I'm playing one of those set in feudal Japan, and I get the option to fuck a 14-year-old in that game. I'm burning my hard drive. Like, I will literally, if I find myself in that situation, I'm throwing my computer out the window and I'm resigning from the internet. Like, there and then. Like, no. One is like, okay, I can kind of justify this and explain this, like, realistically, it's a historical simulation game. It's fine. There's no pornographic material here. The other one's a porno game.
Yeah.
And you'll always find that there's no middle ground either. There's no middle ground. It's either this is a historical video game, that's like trying either like Crusader Kings 2 is of like alternative history / historical reenactment if you want it to be, or it's straight up porno. Those are the only 2 games where it comes up. Never in between does it come up. No, it's never an in-between game. It's either full-blown or it's like, it's like a historical recreation game. It's fine. William the Bastard did marry that 12-year-old, so I suppose we kind of have to. I don't know if that's true. Just for any history nerds out there, I'm just picking names and numbers here.
I said, I can tell you now, he didn't.
Yeah, like I didn't think he did, but like just William the Conqueror was just the first British like king that came to mind. So we'll go with that and just a number. Fuck it.
I don't know if William Conqueror, he's a rarity amongst most royalists because he actually married Oda.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always the same again. Like, I'm playing like Crusader Kings too. Like, I usually have like my characters that I'm actively playing as marry age appropriate people. So if I'm playing a 19-year-old, I'm aiming for someone about 19 and up, as long as they've got decent stats.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if I'm trying to like do like a political marriage in the game, where it's like, I kind of need Venezuela to be nice to me. Here, I know, I'll get the Venezuelan princess who's 9 to marry my like 15-year-old son. Like, I'll do that shit all the time because like there's a political benefit here. You know, I just sell my son to the Venezuelans and suddenly I can invade Brazil. Job done. Like, there's a benefit there that's political. That's all that is there.
The problem with people forget with history, though, which I still feel is, although like child marriages were a thing, right? The actual sleeping with said person didn't happen until the coming of age ceremony.
Yes, because you had betrothal then marriage.
Yes.
You know, where like the way it always went, like right up until the Victorian period, actually, in royal courts, was if you were I believe it was 14 was the earliest they ever allowed to like marriage at. If you were under 14 and like the king needed like a treaty to be signed and you were going to be sold, it was like, okay, we're going to have the 14-year-old be betrothed to this son of a bitch. Right, so it's on paper, it's going to happen, just not right now because you know one's a bit young. Right, we signed a treaty. Then when this one turns 14, then we'll actually do the wedding itself, and then we'll figure out who's going where. You know, like, is he going to join my court? Is she going to join your court? Whatever the fucking case may be. And we'll figure out the finer details closer to the goddamn time of this is going to be a matrilineal marriage or a fucking patriarchal marriage.
Yes. Now...
Or patrilineal, sorry.
One of the quotes people saying about medieval was, if they breed, they can breed. Not once!
Yeah, that was never a historical
precedent. Was that ever brought in a historical precedent? It was a bastardized thing for a film once.
Yeah.
I think loosely based in medieval Europe.
And also, it was a line that was said by the villain of the film.
Yes.
You know, it was a line purposely made to sound fucking disgusting because it was said by the villain who you're supposed to not like.
You know, and that's one of the things... I believe it was said in Game of Thrones once as well. And again... yeah, it was with...
yes.
Cersei's.
There was a similar sentiment stated towards one of the characters in Game of Thrones in the show, but it wasn't... Oh, if they can bleed, they can breed. It was something to the extent of like once a woman gets her first bleed, she is eligible to marry or something like that.
It was
along those lines.
It was the Stark's oldest daughter who I think was meant to be around.
I think so. I think it was set towards Sansa Stark, or it might have been like one of the fucking flower people.
It was Sansa because she was married to the halfling.
Yeah, I think it was like stated like when she got married to Peter Dinklage's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I remember rightly, which I probably don't because it's been a very long time since I watched Game of Thrones, is she'd married Joffrey Baratheon, who was secretly Joffrey Lannister. He died, and then there was some political shenanigans. And basically, Sansa marrying Peter Dinklage's character gave her some kind of a political protection.
No.
Because she was being accused of killing Joffrey for a minute or something.
No, what happened was she was going to marry Joffrey, right? Then they killed Starks, and then she was still going to marry him. Then when her brother caused the War of the North, that was cut off and married the other bitch.
Yeah, the War of the North starts... Which, and then, the wedding between Baratheon and Sansa got called off.
Then she got married.
Then she was in danger of assassination, which was why it was like, okay, marry this dickhead, and then, like, people can't fucking kill you because political nonsense.
He was hand of the king at the time.
Yeah.
And then it was like, when First Blood, you can, you know, he was told by the Queen when she first breed her and get a child out of it that way. We have something they hold over the Stark's head.
Yeah.
That caused the whole plot line there. Then there was after that fucking flail bastard said it, I think. At the Northern Front.
Yeah, because because there's a second. I think of a different scene now. Because there's clearly two scenes where it gets mentioned. Because there's the scene after the wedding between Sansa and Tyrion Lannister.
That's his name.
Between Sansa and Tyrion. We're like fucking like they've done like the wedding ceremony and that, and Tyrion is fucking just wrecked on wine because of course.
Yeah.
And Sansa's like, fucking, I won't sleep with you tonight. And it's like, yeah, okay. I don't expect you to. And it's like, I may never love you enough to sleep with you. Again, yeah. Okay. I assumed as much anyway. You're like fucking 14. You're not my type. Fair warning, we might be married. I'm still going to sleep with a lot of whores, and I'm still going to get very drunk all the time. I don't care.
Yeah, I remember the next scene that I remember was the maid who was shagging Cleet was cleaning the bed and found the blood in the bed. Assumed he banged her. Turned out he didn't, and she killed some guy who was trying to tell the queen about it.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. Yeah, I just remember like from the scene from the night before, where it's like fucking, I may never love you enough to sleep with you. I do not care. I'm not going to sleep with you anyway. You're a child.
Yeah, I think that word is you'd never be my type. You're my type. Your tits are too small or something like that.
Yeah, you'll always be too young for me. I think was like the exact lineage along. There was something similar to the same effect, and it was like this marriage wasn't a breeding marriage. This is a purely political fucking marriage. I'm not into you like that anyway. Like, and it's like, yeah, that happened a lot historically. Actually, yeah.
There
are a lot of marriages like that where it's like, yeah, we're not going to be having kids. This is purely for a political benefit. We're getting divorced in 4 months. And by divorced, I mean one of us is probably going to get shot, assassinated, or killed in battle.
Yeah. But it's get off your trap with this. Point I was making is I've heard this excuse a lot. Of this thing, especially amongst millions have heard of TTRPG stuff. They're hard. Again, I'm not saying it happens all the time in there. But you have a lot of degenerates seem to attract to the damn game.
Yeah, again, I've always had a standing rule in when I'm doing D&D, where it's if we're doing a more historical based campaign, right, where we're aiming for very realistic, right, I will allow a player to marry an underage character. I'm fine with that, but it is on the understanding that you have to have a political reason to do it. There is a political benefit to your character for doing it that makes sense to the character, and you're not going to have sex with the child. That your character and that character are not going to fuck. It is a political marriage. That is the ground lines I've always had for that. And even then, it has to be we specifically have set out for a very realistic campaign historically, and they have to be in that age bracket where marriage and or betrothal would have been considered okay.
Yeah,
and even then, it has to politically still make sense. You can't just marry the princess of the kingdom because you're a chuckle-fuck landless adventurer. The king's not going to sign off on that.
Yeah.
If it's the daughter of a duke who's 15 and you're maybe 23, yeah, sure, I might consider it. But only because the duke doesn't have any sons and he's worried about his family line falling apart. Yeah. If we can find a situation like that, yeah, I'll probably let you get away with it. But also, we're not going to RP a fuck scene, and I'm not going to make the character pregnant for story reasons because no, it's creepy.
I tell you what, one thing I had was I was watching the end of season one of the shows as well. I was last explained to a noble in a fantasy land about the concept of Cinderella, about the peasant girl marrying the prince, and he goes, "Well, that would never happen because the prince would have to give over his throne, and he wouldn't do that because he affects his people." And even if she did manage to get to the ball that night, she'd be caught executed most likely later on, and the whole reason why that story would never fucking work.
Yeah, it was just nonsense.
And the line was "Stop ruining my childhood, you bastard."
Yeah.
He's actually given actual political reasons of a few many times why that would never happen in a billion years.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, thankfully, with with most of the rules I have, surrounding how I do D&D campaigns, I've never had to enforce that one on anyone.
Yeah.
Of fucking hey, yeah, you can marry the 12-year-old, but because I've never had a player that's fucking weird enough to ask.
Yeah.
But it's one of those rules where It's less of a I made it out of necessity and more of a I made it as a just in case because I know what fucking people are like.
Yeah.
Whereas like at some point it's probably gonna come up, so just to be safe, I'm gonna establish now what my rule is for that.
Yeah, you played a make-believe game where your character is Frodo Baggins, who's a 5-foot, dwarf somewhere. And like,
yeah,
weird shit can happen quite easily in the game if you let the reins go too much.
Exactly. I mean, I've had some D&D games where some fucking wild shit has gone down. But like at the same time, like it's. I mean, like long-term viewers will remember when we were doing, fucking Reign of Fire.
Yeah.
Whereas like during the session 0, like I sat everyone down and I was like, look, is there any fucking topics that are off the table here? Any shit where if it comes up in play, you're gonna be real uncomfortable. Like I do that with every campaign session I do for D&D, whereas with every session 0 to a new campaign, where it's like, okay, here's some shit I might bring up during the campaign. Are we okay with these topics? Yeah? Great. Okay, are there any other topics that you think might come up but you don't know, or, just in general, you don't want to turn up? Like, anyone here afraid of spiders and shit? Like just anything at all, no matter how unlikely it is to turn up in this campaign. Tell me now, so I know not to do anything with it. Because it's important for everyone at the table to be on the same page about those things.
Yeah. I think that's from the TTRPG community as a whole. Is because same way like Glenn was down the Drake. This stuff is, he's a big advocate of like the session 0.
Yes.
And like, a lot of stories I've read or I've watched and that don't tend to have that session 0. They're like, I made a character now, we'll jump straight into the game.
Yeah, it's like it's true to a lot of the horror stories I've like heard and read over the years, where it's like, yeah, every problem that arose here could have been solved by having a session 0.
Yeah, even down like that player who comes in also like, in session 0 you can talk about his character like, yeah and no, you're gone.
Yeah, it's like have a session 0, discuss what everyone is aiming to achieve with their characters and their stories. Because like then if someone has an idea that just we're not comfortable running, we can kibosh it now and come up with an alternative. But it also means that me as the DM, I know what you're what you're interested in doing. I can work that into the story easier.
I mean, like remember that basic good example when I was set up that tried to set that Fandelvis game up.
Yeah.
And one of the players set up that fucking abomination of a fucking halfling.
Yes.
And instantly we knew what he was planned to do with that fucking thing.
Yeah, so I specifically made a character like I was planning to play anyway. Right. I specifically just tweaked my character build to be like specifically, okay, this is a player killing character. This is a character that's like decent at combat, decent at RP, all that stuff, but specifically is designed to just kill players if they get out of line. Yeah. That's what this character sheet is for. This is the character killer. Like
how some of that bullshit was going on.
Yeah. It's
so the guy that never played D&D before.
Yeah.
But again, I know we watched some stuff on it. And instantly, like, you made that character sheet and you give me this backstory and everything else. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're gonna be an edgy piece of shit. Okay, I'm going to specifically design my character around killing you later if you do get out of fucking line, because I think you'll get out of line.
Yeah, I remember it was a halfling. It was a stout halfling. Halfling rogue with the gladiator background.
Yeah.
And it was chaotic evil.
Doing that again, mine's a Phandelver run.
Yeah, Phandelver run. And his entire backstory was one-liners, seeking revenge for my parents, I think it was.
Yeah, it's like parents died tragically, seeking revenge on those responsible. And I was like,
yeah.
Aha.
And one of these, I think his flaw we had set up was, I will speak my mind regardless whether it affects other people or not.
Yeah, and it's like, I see, you're just playing yourself, but a dwarf in real life. And I was like, okay. Yeah, but like, I didn't even make a secret of it either. Like, once I made the character, I specifically told the guy, I was like, look, just so you know, the character I've made for that D&D session and like that D&D campaign is literally designed just to kill you. That's all this character has been like fucking aimed towards. Is it can do combat against like the enemies we're likely to come up against. It's like kind of useful here and there for some of like the side activities of the campaign, but it is specifically leaned into taking skills that are gonna kill you. Because I don't trust you not to be a dickhead.
I give him 6 attempts to change that fucking character.
Yeah, I gave him 6 opportunities. He's like, no, I'm happy with it. So I made my character and I let him know. I was like, yeah, if you play that character and get out of line, this character's gonna kill you. Like,
my old favorite point though was a halfling at 3'5", weighing 150 fucking pounds.
Yeah, something like 150, 200 pounds or some shit. And it was like, so like you're literally too fat to move. Awesome. Well played, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But just as I said, so many. I mean, like it's a change I'm seeing a lot in the community. It's like a lot more, especially like newer DMs are like doing session zeros now to like like get those ground rules established and be like because I know that it's becoming a bit of a trend now in the D&D community to do like 2 session zeros now. We do a session zero before once you've collected the players and like before they do characters and before you pick the campaign. To be like, okay, what are we thinking? What's the vibe here?
Yeah.
Like, do we want to do an evil campaign, good campaign? Do we have a specific module we want to run? That kind of thing. And then doing a session zero once all the characters are done and be like, okay, what do we want to get out of this? And what's our ground rules? Where's our hard lines? All that kind of thing. And it's a really good change to be seeing because it's fucking important conversations to have with your players.
Again, I've seen that a lot, but I'm also seeing like on the other side of it where there's a lot of people like saying, looking for a group. Already have the game they want to play set up, and there's lots of players in that game. And the most they go say, this is a generally good line campaign, this is an evil line campaign, this is somewhere in the middle, and that's what all the information you get out of it until hand your character sheets in, right, game now starts.
I do, but like for me, I still argue that's the players fuck up a lot of the time because it's like when you're reaching out to be like, hey, I'm interested, that's your opportunity to ask the DM questions.
Yeah,
that he hasn't elaborated in the post of like. What's the setting? Like, is there any like kind of potentially controversial topics you're thinking of bringing up that I should be aware of? Like,
all the people
realistically, that first reach out is your personal session zero.
All the people listening, right? If at any point in a D&D game and that type or any TTRPG game you feel uncomfortable about what's going on, get up and fucking leave.
Or at the very least, just like if it's the first time, right? First time you felt uncomfortable, just say something. Like, say something to your DM. I can guarantee you most DMs are not going to be cunty about it. Most DMs are going to hear you out and say, okay, I understand where you're coming from. Fair enough. We'll run it back a couple minutes here. We'll divert. Right? Not a problem. Right? Most DMs don't give a shit. We're more than happy to do that if you let us know there's a problem there. We don't need to know why you have a problem. Just, if it's something like, hey, like, look, I know we're having fun and everything, but also, like, this is a little dark for me. I'm not comfortable, like, with this exact storyline here. Can we tone it down a bit? Yeah, not a problem. Happily. Easy. Not a problem. Tone it down. Easy fucking peasy. If your DM is an arsehole about it, fucking walk. Like it's... if your DM turns out and just calls you a piece of shit over it, fucking walk from the table.
And again, the old average still works. No D&D is better than bad D&D.
I mean, yeah, not 100%. I'd rather never play D&D again than play a shit campaign with people I don't like.
Because a lot of the Tower Strikes I've watched and read, I'll get to the point where they allow either the product player or the DM to go on so long that it starts affecting them. And so like, no, fuck.
I mean, like the last campaign where I like just walked out on was a campaign I did a few years ago where I was a player. Where like I'd like a community center near where I was staying at the time, like had like a D&D group every week. And like I think I attended it for like maybe a month straight. Like it's like 3-4 sessions in a row. And it was like every single fucking week, like half of the day we're just being like, oh yeah, we'll see if you stick around. It's like every time I tried to RP with them, I'd be like, no offense, but I don't really want to talk to you, like fucking like strange new character, like fucking we've had X amount of people come and go from this party. I don't trust you not to leave as well. And it's like, yeah, okay, go away. Yeah, like I'm trying to be involved and have fun here, and y'all are just shutting me down with, I'm not even gonna bother because I don't know if you're gonna stick around. I'm not gonna stick around then.
Yeah, it's
like if you're not gonna give me a reason to stick around, I'm not gonna fucking stick around, am I? I think I know why those guys left.
Yeah, it's like, players always keep leaving us. Yes, because you're a dick.
Yeah, if it was something like, okay, RP, they're only doing it in RP. It's like the character sentiment. Okay, I can get behind that. Fair enough. When you're doing it in character and above table all the fucking time. Whereas like every fucking fourth conversation is just ended with, yeah, we'll see if you even stick around long enough for that opinion to matter. It's like, why am I going to stick around then?
Yeah.
Like, you clearly don't fucking want me or new players in general here. Why would I be here? Like,
I remember it's like especially groups like that. They've been around for a while. They're also like gatekeeping shit like that. And like say again, it's like other games I play, like Warhammer for instance. There's a lot of it in that of like, you know, you must play this group. You must do it this way. Like, no, fuck off. I play how I want.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's in the rules, I'm playing it. Fuck you.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, with D&D, like, I'm a little more kind of like, just because it's in the rules doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and also very much in the direction of, even if it's not in the rules, it doesn't fucking matter. I might let it slide, because, like, yeah, like, a lot of, like, long-term D&D players I know, yeah, there's some wacky shit in those rules you can abuse the fuck out of that just takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, that's a real gun.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, Peasant Railgun, it's still just a woeful misinterpretation of the rule set, but, you know, like, at the same time, like, now there's you know, it's like the one of, like, you know, oh, like, use, like, create water and then like freeze and drop in a ball of ice on a guy. It's like, no. Don't get me wrong, it's creative. Your first time doing it, yeah, okay, I might let you slide. If this is our 5th campaign and you're still doing it, you're not funny.
Speaking of which, I found the rule of 4 damage to water.
Yeah, it displaces.
No, that is just how it's dropped.
It does not. Nope. Water displaces. Standard water, yes. Magical created water displaces in D&D's lore. It doesn't crush.
No, I found the rule set for the old 5e.
As have I.
And it actually did state there is a damage effect, that force damage from ship water falling on top of somebody.
It does not, because it's magic water, it disperses. This is what I mean by just because it's in the rules doesn't fucking matter. Right? Yes, there is a rule for that. Said rule doesn't count because it's already stated in D&D lore that create water creates magic water. Magic water is already stated in the lore as dispersing different to standard water. And does not cause fucking crushing damage upon impact from a height. Like, just because they have a rule there to let you do the fall damage doesn't mean I'm gonna do the rule that lets me do the fall damage. Because there's other rules that contradict it. Because D&D has been written by 500 people, only 4 of whom ever talked to each other.
I don't think they talk to each other very well.
You know, like, it's... You know, it's the same argument I have for, like, why sometimes there might be a thing that just there isn't a rule for this at all. You know, or even sometimes the rules say you can't do that. Well, I'm gonna let you do it anyway. Because it could be cool, or it might be kind of fun, or it's a really creative solution to a problem.
Fireball nuke.
You know, like it's like if you're, I mean, Fireball nuke is a really good one because there are established rules for that, of like using like a book and like enchanting the pages and that with Fireball. You know, that one's really creative, and there are rules around that you're working in with. I like that. That one's fine. You know, like, yeah, it's a cunt move on the player's part, but it's a clever one. I'll allow it. No, you know, I kind of more mean like if it's something like fucking, you know, like say like, you know, you're fighting a Tarrasque or something, right? And we're doing like this, you know, like a boss fight where it's like, oh, you know, you're on like a sky ship, and you know it's a cannon fight versus a Tarrasque, for example, right?
Yeah.
And let's say we're in a situation where like, okay, you've disabled the Tarrasque's ability to fly, right? It's now stuck on the ground, but your cannons are like fucked, right? It's destroyed your cannons on your ship. You know, and a player turns around and says, okay, what if, and hear me out here. What if everyone else rappelled off the ship, and then I like just shot the fucking like the engine out, and I just crashed the ship into the Tarrasque from above? You know, it's like, yeah, under the rules, yeah, technically that shouldn't kill it because it wouldn't do enough damage. But also, that's a really fucking clever solution. I'm gonna just say that killed it if you can roll me a check to hit it and aim it. If you can roll me a check to aim the shot on the engine, and then roll me another check to aim the ship to hit the guy, yeah, I'm gonna just count that, quite frankly. Fair play. Because it's a clever idea. You know,
what
like,
thing about Tarrasque recently come up in recent law is Tarrasque have spines on their back.
They do, yes.
Now, like say people are going to say spines are a defense mechanism against a predatory animal.
Yes.
What the fuck is preying on Tarrasque?
I mean, do you want the actual answer, or?
I think some kind of eldritch being, I think, some kind of eventually on it.
Some eldritch beings, void serpents, void daemons, and Oh, there's an extinct animal in the D&D lore that's basically a T-Rex. I don't remember the name of.
Yeah,
but they existed they existed around the same time Tarrasques did, and were a primary predator against the Tarrasque because they're fucking huge.
Yeah, it's one of those things that language people about the tiger. It's got false eyes on the back of its ears to scare with predators. I'm less scared of tigers now. I'm more scared of what the fuck hunted them.
Well, whatever it is extinct.
Yeah.
Can
we get back onto the video?
Yes, let's.
The range of what most individuals can find to be appealing. And the fact that he's engaging in this kind of behavior doesn't necessarily mean that he has a psychiatric disorder that we mean when we use the word. Excuse me, what? Let's break this down. Finding a 13-year-old or 14-year-old appealing is unacceptable, period. There is no justification, no excuse, no rationalization that would make this remotely okay, especially if you are their stepfather, like it said in this example. Because as their stepfather, you know that they are 13 or 14, that they are a child. The fact that this is even being framed as a point in this discussion is insane. What's happening is clear. They are attempting to alter the public's perception, to make us question if this is really as bad as we think it is.
It's actually worse, because you got to think of this. If the stepfather's doing it, that means he got with the stepmother purely for the point of having access to the child.
Yeah, that as well. Morally, it's even worse because it's as a stepfather, it's your job to protect that fucking child.
Yeah.
That's a burden you took on when you fucking married into this. And you're going to betray that trust and that responsibility to get your rocks off. No. It's... I could talk at length about certain cases that are along these lines, but I would get in a lot of trouble.
Yes, I have no few cases myself.
Yeah, unfortunately I've been connected to a couple of cases that are very, very similar to this, where I could talk at length about every single reason why it's just fucking sick and wrong, but I would get in a lot of trouble with the government.
Soften.
Because I would end up doxing
it should be automatic. And let's be real, this push isn't happening in a vacuum. We are seeing a huge increase in the oversexualization of girls in social media, in TV, in the music industry. It's all around us. It's not just about the terminology. This is a much bigger cultural shift, and it is really attempting to erode serious and important boundaries. And we'll be talking about that in another video because the discussion doesn't stop here. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Now, the question sometimes comes up, why, for God's sake, don't the individuals attracted to both adults and children simply do the moral thing and conform their behavior to the expectations of society? There are many answers to that question. I'm not going to cover all of them, but one of the points I want to make, which is relevant in terms of treatment, is that appetites have within them certain tastes. For example, I can finish a big turkey dinner and then I won't want any more turkey, but I might still crave a piece of strawberry shortcake for...
Yeah. It's an entire sentence, isn't it? Yes, we'll collate sexual attraction to fucking food preference. Ah, yes. Logic. There's a scientist as well, by the way, that said
it
that.
Is, yes. And I'm generally scientifically inclined.
It's a psychologist that came out with that fucking sentence.
It has to be, because no reputable other scientist of biology or anything like that would ever utter words along the lines of what I've just listened to.
I don't know, I could believe a sociologist saying it, but then let's be fair, now sociology isn't a real fucking science, is it?
Yeah, I don't count as science, so...
Yeah, no one does. No one respects sociology.
Sociology, when you learn sociology at university, well, you're paying, best part of 80 grand for a library card.
Criminology, on the other hand, now that's a respectable science. That's a real respectable ology.
But
I like criminology.
I'm trying to break this down in my head, and I'm having a stroke trying to do this.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is, yes, you're attracted to both the adult and child, and the moral thing to do is go with the adult.
Yes.
But unfortunately, once you've had sex with the adult, because of your taste, you have to go for the child as well.
It's not about I have to have sex with a child. It's it doesn't get rid of the proclivity towards having sex with a child, which You know, but like, yeah, fucking, that's more the point he was going for, but it's still just like, you're a piece of shit, die.
That's still the way it came out.
Yeah.
Dessert. That is the dilemma. I'm sorry, like, what?
It's
Are we
not-
comparing this attraction to a desire for dessert? Because, like, oh, I had my turkey and I'm satisfied. I had my adult and I'm satisfied. And now I just want to dabble in dessert. Is this a serious point that was made? Because it is a serious point. Like, that is literally taken out of the PDF from this symposium. Like, what in the unholy depths of audacity is this?
Add on
again,
as well.
Let me just try to put
Add on
this
as well, right? It's also a double entendre joke.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know if you remember this, Fat Man, but like during like the 90s and the early 2000s of like, oh, are you ready for dessert was like a fucking
you threw it
like
for
a
sex.
thing you would say is it was like, fucking dessert was code for sex.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're like, not are you making that comparison, which is already just wrong, but you're doing so very clearly as like, a reference to a sex joke.
Yeah, because then like, we've got dinner for tonight and dessert for later.
Yeah, it's like, and you're doing that in a an actual scientific symposium / report.
What's worse is this video's 3 months old, right?
Yeah.
She pulled that from research directly from that Before You Act website.
Yes.
Which when we're filming out the scene put up there was from last year.
Yeah.
So it's not even old shit.
Yeah. It's not even like, it was like, like the 60s from like before.
Yes.
Like the dessert thing was like well spread. It's like, no, that's still in living memory for most people. I have ex-partners I said that to.
Not that was worse is. The way this read, I thought it was like reading like from like from like the early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah, no, this is like a modern symposium like paper.
Yeah. Let's keep
into a common sense perspective.
Oh, God.
Common sense.
Oh,
when I tell you that my own
sense.
makeup is heterosexual, what information does that convey about me as a person? And what information does it not convey? The answer is that it tells you that I am sexually attracted to women. And at my age, it's pretty safe to assume that I have acted on those attractions. But it doesn't tell you if I'm kind or cruel, caring or not caring, conscientious or lacking in conscience. Oh, you know what? Because guess what? Just the pure attraction to children and is not caring. Children need to be protected, not.
Yes. I quit the fact that I like women, and saying I'm a cruel dick. Oh, fuck me. Who give this guy a degree?
An idiot.
Who?
A fucking idiot.
I want to find a person to give this guy a PhD or doctorate and punch him square in the dick.
Oh no, I just want to take the PhD off of him and the guy that gave him it. Like, I want to take away this dickhead's PhD and the guy that fucking gave him one. I'm taking both their PhDs.
What's worse is that, right, I'm going to this guy's life study of this. Which means for his PhD, he had to write a paper like this and defend it to a group of other like-minded, other PhDs in the same field.
Yes.
And he did that and got his PhD. So there's like 4 or 5 cunts I want to remove their PhD from.
Yeah. Yeah, same. And again, I'm taking the professor's one too that fucking taught them while I'm at it.
Even wilder. Some mental health professionals, like I mentioned earlier, claim that reducing stigma will actually help prevent abuse.
For instance, if a MAP sought out one-on-one therapy with a counselor, they might not know whether the counselor fully understands the difference between someone who has an attraction to minors and someone who has committed an offense against a child. Because of
No, there's a clear distinction between the two. You're not on a record yet, so you haven't done anything wrong yet.
No, it's I'm a pedophile and I'm a registered sex offender.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference. It's called communication. You say to them, I am sexually attracted to children and I have raped a child. They are very different sentences. Also, if anyone dares vod that out of context, I will find where you live and I will pipe bomb your mailbox.
Yeah, it's very simple distinction, and generally, most psychologists can have access to your criminal fucking record.
They can, yes.
There's a lot of, because one of the things with anyone who's on a sex offender registry, they have to do mandatory counselling anyway.
Yeah, so your therapist would probably know.
That stigma.
You know, like-
Counselors are just like anyone else. They might know that, they might not. If they end up in therapy with a counselor who mistakenly believes all MAPs have committed an offense or will do so at some point, their therapist might end up making a report against them that they shouldn't be making. A lot of people, when they hear the term...
Problem by macro distinction, they're literally 2 steps away from making an attempt at a child. Hence why they're in fucking therapy.
Yeah. You know, like it's like saying like, oh, like some therapists might not know the difference between like a serial killer and a sociopath. You know, so they might report them like unnecessarily. It's like, no, because the same rules are going to apply either way. Of, did he say he's actively planning on killing Susan? Yeah, report his ass then.
Did he say he dreamed of killing Susan? Yes. Well then, talk the fuck about her and try and stop doing it.
Yeah, you know that thing that like therapists and psychologists are taught to do and trained to handle when they get their fucking license.
Yeah, the problem the distinction he's made here though, with this guy, he said therapist.
Yeah.
Not psychologist, because psychologist is a licensed person licensed by a board and had to go through university to get their degree.
Even with therapists, you still require a therapy certification, which I've done the therapy certification. You still get taught like when it isn't appropriate to report something and what key sentiments have to be expressed for you to be able to report it on a moral basis.
Not in America. All you have to do for America to get a therapy license is to say you're going to be a therapist and to have like I think a day course about managing data and HIPAA, and that's it.
Yeah, that sounds about right for America, in fairness, but still.
Any trick can be a therapist. As long as you like sign up for the business and you're business therapist, you're business therapist, and you get basically your license in that you understand what HIPAA is and go to conform to HIPAA. That is it for America.
Yeah, but like still, you know, like if you're gonna be a therapist, you've probably done a little further training because you're interested. You know, like they're gonna know.
The kind of thing we have over here is, you know, the psychologist, which is like the medical side of it.
Yes.
And that, which is what I saw when I got my diagnosis. Then you got psychotherapists, which is more about just talking about your emotions without any real ability to give you like medication or treatment. They both say, well, have you thought about this? Have you tried writing this? You know, they can't prescribe you drugs.
Yeah, and then there's a therapist that just talks to you and you know, like walks you through how the fuck you're feeling, but can't do like the fucking hypnotherapy shit.
Yeah.
You know, and all three of them still get taught when it, like what the parameters are for when you can and cannot report someone for potentially being a criminal threat.
Yes.
Automatically assume that it means a sex offender, and that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors. But using a term that communicates who someone is attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of that attraction.
Yes,
it fucking does. It's
like, I'm sorry, right? If I went out tomorrow in the middle of town square and said I'm sexually attracted to zebras, I'd expect to be stabbed. You know, like if I went anywhere and said I'm sexually attracted to dogs and I'd like to have sex with your pet Shih Tzu, please, I would fully expect to be stabbed in the sternum.
Now, this guy's a very psychologist. He's getting one basic thing about human psychology. Is one about the heaviest driving forces next to eating and sleeping is reproduction.
Yes.
Your attraction is based on you being pulled towards a partner for the purpose of reproduction.
Yes. It's also completely ignoring, basically every fucking study ever conducted in the history of ever around, you know, pedophiles and how the human brain's love map works. And how almost every single pedophile, except for some key fucking exceptions, are pedophiles because they have a warped fucking love map, usually because they were abused as a child.
Yes. There are some rare cases where they've got a tumour or brain damage, but those are rare.
Yeah, or again, there's also like a handful of cases where there's like a genetic component to it, but it's, again, those are incredibly rare.
Yeah, those are outliers, not the norm.
Yes.
You know, in a correlation graph, which I'm sure this guy's done at some point, for data sets, those will be the scatter points at the farthest points of the map, not the fucking central core of the graph.
There is no morality or immorality attached to attraction to anyone because no
There
one
is.
can control who they're attracted to at all. In other words, it's not who we're attracted to that's either okay or not okay. It's our behaviors in responding to that attraction that are either okay or not okay.
And again, MAPS are in therapy because they can't control their urges.
Correct.
Overwhelmingly, any time we talk about these people, is I've gone to therapy to help me control my urges.
Yeah.
An average person attracted to a woman or a man, gay or lesbian, does not have those urges of, oh, there she is, I must grab, I must do it.
Yeah. Like I've never had to go to therapy because I find people too fucking attractive.
Yeah.
I've gone to therapy for shit like, I want to end my existence, please, and I have a problem with alcohol. Yeah. I've never been to therapy because my dick gets too hard when I look at Suzanne that works the tills at the post office.
Now, is that a problem? Yes, because I'm 2 steps away from grabbing Suzanne over the bench and banging her.
Yeah. Like, I'm 4 seconds away from being a rapist. I've never had to do that kind of therapy because that's just not how human brains work.
Every time
or at least healthy ones work.
Every time Jenna walks back with that sundress, I just can't control it. And one day I'm just going to get it.
Yeah.
I can't stop myself.
I mean, to be fair, I have had that one before where like a woman's gone past and it's like, oh, I can't control myself. I'm 3 seconds away from going on Amazon and buying that sundress. That's real pretty, that is. I look real good in that sundress. Let me get my phone. I'm buying that sundress. I've done that one before, but like never. I'm gonna snatch the sundress off this woman's body. Like maybe I'm gonna Google that sundress and buy myself one because I think I could rock the shit out of that sundress. But
now, before anyone in our comment section broke out, well, is that condition where people have a compulsion to steal? Yes. Again.
Yes.
That is a
called kleptomania.
That is a condition which you have treatment for.
Yes, and also has the same outlying issues of it's usually caused by either genetic predispositions or brain damage / brain tumors.
Yes. And guess what? Those people to get arrested and put in fucking jail.
Yeah, if they steal shit.
I'm sorry, but am I the only one who doesn't buy this? Because let's think about the times that we've reduced stigma. Obesity rates in the US not growing for the first time in a decade. But there might be a worse problem. The general rate of obesity among adults in the United States has stagnated, but the rate of severe obesity has increased, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or lessened the repercussions for crimes, i.e. Proposition 47, reducing felonies to misdemeanors for theft. And what happened? Theft skyrocketed to the point where people were literally walking into.
I do remember that. Yeah.
No one, anyone who does steal less than 1,000. I love the argument everyone else made. Well, if they're stealing, that means they need it. They're not stealing food, Julie. They're stealing fucking Adidas. They don't need fucking Adidas.
Yeah. I mean, the way I've always looked at theft in particular is like, if I'm in like a supermarket, right, and I see a guy stealing like baby food or like diapers or something. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't see anything, officer. If I'm in Argos and I see you trying to shoplift a TV, I'm ratting your ass out.
Yeah.
Straight up, I'm ratting you the fuck out. You do not need to steal the television. There's charity shops that'll sell you the same thing for a $5. Get fucked. As you see, again, stealing like tomatoes or like just food. I didn't see nothing. As you stealing something fucking ridiculous, yeah, I'm ratting you the fuck out. Like,
I mean, even with food, right? If I see you stealing like basic necessities for food, fair enough. If I saw you seeing what you trying to steal, flaming young with a side sort of like, truffles, then no, get fucked.
Even then, there's a certain stance where I'd allow it. Like, if it's like Tesco and it's like the meat aisle's empty and all that's left is a sirloin or a fucking Sauvignon Blanc or some shit. It's like, yeah, okay. I didn't see nothing. Fair enough. Guy's hungry. Guy can't afford food. It's all that's left. Fair play. Like, didn't see nothing. Whereas like the aisle is full of meat and you're stealing the most expensive cut. Yeah, okay, I might be a little more narky with you.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's, again, there's a boundary of that goes on. Unfortunately, most of the looting shit, it happens when they did that law, even over here, is, we went, well, I need these sneakers now. 21 pairs? Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've I've always said myself as well. Like if I ever find myself in a situation where like I'm in like a riot or like something like that, and I'm gonna go looting, which I'm not going to do, but like for the sake of argument, if I was, I'd only be looting shit I need, and in small quantities that were like it's clearly just a personal use thing. Like if I'm middle of like a London riot, and like Marks and Spencer's is there, and I've not eaten in 4 days. Yeah, I'm gonna go steal a sandwich during the looting. Fair enough.
Probably my favorite
You can't be back for that one. Like,
my favorite phrase is, "We're not stealing from you. We're stealing from a company, and they have insurance." Yes, but then they have to pay that insurance, and then the price in the shop go up because they have to cost more because they're fucking up for that insurance. You dozy bastard.
Like the prices go up for like the items themselves. The prices of the insurance go up not just for like business owners, but all insurance goes up because a claim has been made on one.
Yeah.
Like. Like you'll always notice, like if a bank robbery like happened last year and it was successful, your car insurance goes up a little bit the following year, or at least a little bit more than it would have done.
Yeah, if a looting happens and you steal, £3 million worth of stuff from Asda, fair enough. It's not coming out of the director's pocket, no. But then the insurance company's got to pay that fee off. They're going to bump the insurance points for Asda in the hole, and because they've just lost £3 million, anyone else is under the umbrella of that insurance company is going to get a raise in their insurance.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, get your fucking car insurance, you selfish pricks.
It's like I got at the same time. It's like I'd complain like the group of looters of like, hey, like the individual looters. It's like, nah, I get it though. Like I'm not mad at like you, the individual who's looting Asda. I'm mad so many of you did it in one go. Like. Spread it out a little bit. Right? Break up into teams of 5, coordinate this shit, right? Team 1's going to do it on Monday. Team 2's going to do it on Tuesday. That way the insurance company gets it a little bit at a time, and then they up it a little bit at a time. You all do it on the Monday, they lose £3 million in one day. We all get a fucking increase in insurance of 30%.
Also,
fuck you.
What happens is, because you've done that much damage to the shop goes, it's not worth having the shop here anymore.
Yeah.
The shop gets shut down, and now, oh god. Well, we have to go an extra 30 miles to get a fucking food. We can't afford that. Well, tough shit, asshole.
Yeah, you shouldn't have burned the shop down then. But like,
okay, get back to this because I'm ranting now.
To stores and walking out.
I'm really pissed off with the BLM riots. Can you tell?
I can, yes.
With arms full of goods, and cops weren't being called because for what? You don't buy that? Let's think about when we decriminalize drugs in certain cities. There has actually been studies that showed, for example, in Oregon, that this led to an increase of incidents of overdose. So what are we getting at here? Now, programs like Germany's Don't Offend has shown that individuals that want to do these type of behaviors are more likely to seek help when they feel safe enough to do so. But where do we draw the line? The reality is, if we soften the language, then what happens next?
So we also have to dive into further research that I was doing into this topic. Just as we mentioned, there are resource groups both in the US and in other countries, such as Free Spirits.
Oh god, that's still around, is it?
Yeah, NAMBLA still exists, sadly.
I thought they got shot.
No, they're still around. They've been shot at a couple times, but...
I think people have a very good shot.
No, because they do hit them. They just don't take them out.
Act. Free Spirits in particular was kind of shocking for me into some of the links that they are associated with. So Free Spirits has founded different pages for support for these types of individuals. For example, is one of them. This is an internet support forum for these type of people, and the forum has stated that its goal is to help its users live productive lives instead of inflicting harm on people under the age of consent. And this is interesting because in this forum, I wanted to see exactly...
Again, my point being made. They need help to make sure they don't offend.
Yeah. Like, again, I've never had to, like, seek assistance in not doing rape.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't do rapes. It's not that difficult. Like,
what it is.
It things like hard or something, you know.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, I don't know, they're onto something. I mean, it's... I'd say it's real hard not to just go around raping my way across the countryside like the Scottish heritage that I am. You know, my Scottish blood in my veins, it boils because I've not raped an Englishman in a while. Like, no. You know, oh, I've not pillaged and pilfered a group of peasants in a while. No, I don't have.
Yeah, it's
I just don't do rape. I don't steal shit.
I'm not around the street thinking, oh shit, if I need help to sort this out. Every time that one walks through that door, I just can't keep.
Yeah.
Like fucked.
I'm not a piece of shit, and my brain works correctly. It's not fucking difficult.
Is that they are discussing, right? Because it's supposed to help these individuals. So I'm assuming it would be ways to avoid offending and things to be able to help them, therapists, things of that nature. But no. That's not what I found at all. Instead, for example, these are some of the entries that I found. Hello, I'm a 31-year-old and this is my protege. This seems to be a fantasy that this individual is writing on this forum. So it goes on to say, we're on an educational love journey commitment of 24 months. It was assigned to me by Judge Rutherford and concluded that our bond amounted to what he called a complete success. The idea was spearheaded in the year 2029 by a lawyer.
Are these motherfuckers writing fucking fanfic?
An educational love journey.
These motherfuckers are writing scientific paper fanfic.
No, this isn't fanfic. This is a guy who's actually telling about his experience with a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, and apparently happened in 2029, a year that hasn't occurred yet. So it's fanfic.
Oh yeah, it's fanfic. And according to this one, the kid was signed for him by a judge.
Yeah, they're writing fucking. I don't know about this, Rick. I think I might commit seppuku.
Hang on, this gets better, this one. This was
Like it's going to soups.
Hang on, no, listen to this. Right, it's also astonishing that we completed the avenue thinking that how come for a social reform intervention, especially as a form of therapy. Love bond is a conduct for good behavior, respect, goodwill, and pride of self-being to the end goal. How erotic passion could have been used as a hammer in the past, deny boys their liberty to be passionate, and that has now been declared the dark time of human history. A violation of human rights, a failure of academic stewardship, a rare for the progress of minds and courage, for bold action and consensual open of policy. Raping children is bad.
Yeah.
Full stop.
The pedophiles are making fucking fanfics, bro. They're making sci-fi fanfics. This species is a fucking write-off.
Close custody that the boy declared homosexual.
Could you just stop reading?
Okay.
Could you just no?
Lawyer AJ Smith, who asked the court for, instead of juvenile sentence in close custody, that the boy be awarded to a kind university student in criminology that sought to his theory in alternative crime reform, and being them somebody with and pride of self being the end goal. How erotic Pat cleared does just the same way human rights violations for other actual oppressed groups were integrated into society. That's what they want for themselves. And he is imagining this scenario in which there is now education or a criminal reform type of system where this happens and this is okay, which is crazy to me because there is also, we're going to take a look at a story where in Germany, this kind of thing actually happened. So in response to that, this other person says, this is indeed a nice vision. Actually, in Berlin, Germany in the 70s, this has been tried out in reality. And that's what I was talking about. Coupling difficult youth with some more or less open known boy lovers. I'm not sure what the actual outcome was. I guess it had
bad. Very, very bad.
Very bad.
Helped a few of those boys.
I know that study. It was a terrible idea.
I know that study very well.
Yeah. It didn't work. The German government got sued over it.
It was almost as bad as was it the Pennsylvania experiment?
Yeah. Nothing will ever be as bad as that particular fucking error in judgment, but...
What the students play prison jailers.
Yeah. God, a lot of people died.
They still run that every year, you know.
I know. I don't know why, because every time a good couple people die.
Yeah, something bad always happens every time they do it.
Stopped
Like,
soon,
I
and of course
think,
today.
I think the record is like 1 fatality. It was like the lowest they ever got it to.
No, they got to half fatality.
They got a half a fatality. A guy died, but we brought him back. It's fine.
Yeah. With some minor brain damage.
Sounds about right.
This is made seen as a horrible crime, and all of this got demonized like witchcraft in the medieval times. So again, they don't see this as wrong.
Right, no, you don't get to compare this to fucking witchcraft, right? Pedophiles exist, witchcraft doesn't. Shut the fuck up. There's no such thing as a witch on a flying broomstick and turning people into toads. There is such a thing as a guy that'll put his dick in a 4-year-old. Fuck off.
Witchcraft was never really demonetized in medieval time, you dozy bastard. For one. That was much later. And again, fuck you. It helped nobody.
Fucking. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to go for a pee and I'm going to make food.
So again, they don't see this as wrong.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, like I'm going to go for a pee and then I'm going to come downstairs and I'm going to make food. Like I don't care.
I mean, it's next day, so I'm going to end it here because. Yeah,
I'm like giving up because I'm about ready to just say some shit really fucking loudly and upset the neighbors. Like,
I mean, I knew that website was always dodgy as shit, but fuck me. If I had some soundproof in the sitting room where I'm at, I would be. You know, that's the thing. I'm going to build a soundproof room so we can actually have this discussion, so we can.
No, let's not. Let's not do that. No.
But anyway, on this depressing and godly side.
Yeah, like, Gamer, we cover this topic once a year, and if you ask me, that's too often for my personal preference.
Yeah.
Like, if I had my way, we'd never talk about it again because the problem would be solved, but.
Anyway, folks, this has been a depressing stream. Good night.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you all on the next one.
Yeah.
I'm legitimately going for a piss, though. I've been holding it in for like 20 minutes.